Welcome to CAPECAST. Chris, Brandon, how you guys doing tonight?
Doing
Good
great.
evening.
Excited.
Yeah, missing Britt tonight. We missed the beard. No beard tonight.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some attention this time.
Guys,
Yeah.
we're a mere 3 days, 6 hours, 58 minutes, and 39 seconds from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Not that I'm counting.
No.
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
So we just wanted to get on here
Hey,
tonight and
Anybody know
What's
how to reduce the redness from your camera feed?
Don't
I need to
say in the
I need to
subtitle.
bump down selective. I need to bump down the red.
You're not
Brandon,
letting
that's
me-
farm
you're not
work
letting me
for you.
drop the
You know what?
joke in.
I'll message Al. He'll know.
If you can't tell, Brandon's got a little dome sunburn. Yep, there it is. Loud proud.
It's farm burn.
Yeah.
That
I
pressure
wore
wash
my
made
hat
you-
most of the day yesterday, but I guess whenever I was eating them weeds, it just snuck up on me. That overcast will get you.
That's
Gotta
right.
be careful.
All right, so Chris, you did your homework. We're gonna kind of as in preparation for the big week coming up.
What's the big week?
Okay, we're gonna have to
This
remove
week.
him from the feed, Brandon. We're gonna have to take him out of the feed.
Yeah. It's bye, Chris. All right, Ryan. So
Oh, there it is.
it's fine.
Yeah. So we wanted to do kind of like a little retrospective, looking back on the SnyderVerse movies, specifically Man of Steel and BVS, Ultimate Edition for the snobs out there like us.
Yep.
And then just kind of talk expectations and that kind of thing for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And we
For
actually,
the first time ever, we're going to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
believe it or not. Oh man. So Brandon and I have been doing house yard work, whatever, all day, and we found out in the middle of the day that they had released the second trailer. So we have not watched the second trailer yet, nor has Chris. So we figured we would do a
I also
little
did
live
yard work,
reaction
though.
here. What do you think? You guys down?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Totes
All right.
down. So what we're
So
going to
we'll
do
do this.
for everybody that is watching,
I need to know too.
we're going to, you can watch it along with us if you like. We'll have it here in the stream, but we're going to pull the audio down a little bit, probably pretty much all the way, because we're going to watch it on our end so that we can have the best feed possible, because we're jerks like that. So
You got people jumping in here
what's up,
already.
James?
Play some bets. How many minutes of theatrical in CSJL without going over?
That's the thing. I mean, briefly, I'll just say it's hard to know. And also, the stuff that was in theatrical was color graded different, edited different.
I know.
You
That's
know, it was
yeah.
probably different takes that they used. So who knows? We'll see. But
We'll let you know. You'll know what we think in a couple minutes here. So,
so y'all
guys,
ready
before
to
we
do this?
Well, cheers. Well, cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers. Got my
Click, clink.
a little Batman
There you
koozie
go.
going on. There is beer in here. It's Southern juice.
He poured it out and
But
filled it with water.
here it goes. There it is. Yeah. Cheers.
All right. Brandon, you want to count us down?
Yeah, so this is gonna be. I'm gonna have to do two.
Oh, I need to figure out if I'm going to have
To
ads
play it.
before this, though, aren't I?
You have to be like click, click.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
The flash fingers.
All right. Are you ready? Are you ready, Chris?
I am ready.
Do you want to click it to make sure you don't have any ads on your end?
I just did.
Chris. Okay.
Okay, I'm good too.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
In 3. Ah, crap. Hang on. Sorry.
You're killing
Ryan, will
me.
you please count?
No, I got it. Okay.
Let's do it again.
We'll do it live. All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Don't know who that guy is or that guy.
Oh my gosh. Come on.
The color looks different.
It's massive.
Love that lip.
It's crazy what happens when it's real. That shot's so awesome.
Seen this in storyboards.
I'm so excited for the Amy Adams stuff.
Comes my favorite line so far.
God. Zeus.
Ooh, a little
Oh,
more
snap.
lantern look.
Oh.
Nice.
Like little ponderings. Sit down.
Oh,
man.
jeez.
That's freaking awesome. Guys, I've got chills again. It's a constant affliction. Shut up.
Omega beams.
beams. Good lord.
What is this talking?
I don't know. It's one of the same thing.
What?
Woohoo!
Interesting.
God. Every time they put one of these things
Hold
out,
on, maybe we'll get
they're
Joker
gonna-
again.
Hang on,
Stinger?
hang on.
I'm looking at the scrub. We got nothing.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
We're gonna have to
Okay.
back. So now we're gonna have to review the trailer.
Do I gotta open that back up?
We're just gonna have to do it.
Just let it play in the stream. Is that cool?
Yeah. That works. I may have you pause it on
was that
Steve.
voice? Who was that voice towards the end? Any
Yeah,
guesses?
that's a good question.
Anybody in the chat have any guesses on who that could be? It wasn't anybody that I
That's
recognized.
a good call right here. That was one of the scenes when I
Yeah.
was watching it where I was like, "Oh, buddy." Oh,
Yeah, I've been so impressed with the CG work, considering the amount of time that they had to do this.
And the year.
Yeah. for
Well,
real.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's definitely, and everybody uses this word. It's unprecedented, but I mean, it's true. I was
Shot
surprised they
after the
didn't
lake
include.
house scene. Keep an eye out.
Okay, yeah, I remember the lake house scene, but I don't know what was after it.
Yeah, this is cool. Seeing a little bit
oh,
more lantern
man.
than we've seen before.
What was the? We didn't have to listen to that dialogue.
Hold on. Here comes the dirt.
I'll turn it up a little bit so we can hear it.
of existence shall
It's coming through super clear on our end.
Okay, good. Paladin, don't fail me now.
I have a second chance. I am
Soup's
not gonna
dialogue.
waste it.
Flight 2.0 is going to be awesome.
Age of Heroes will never come again.
Just sunbathing. All right.
Whoa, wait.
Okay,
oh,
yeah,
dude,
pause.
that was. Hold on, go back. I didn't even see freaking Superman up in the corner. Go back
At
to
the
the
lake
lake
house?
house part. Yeah.
Oh, that's the volume.
Oh gosh. Brandon and technology.
It's like he's trying to count again.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Is it Superman,
That's super
no.
cool.
or is this?
You guys,
Is it
you guys
Supergirl,
finally got it right.
I mean, it could be. It could.
Yeah, it could
definitely
be. Totally could be.
I mean, if this is so, do we assume that it's Bruce?
Honestly, I don't even care who it is. It looks awesome.
I think this is
Well, okay,
when
here's
Bruce
the thing.
finally meets Alfred. Or
Okay, here's the thing.
Clark.
So we know that there was supposed to be a scene that teased that had like lanterns appearing at the lake house,
Sure.
but the cape.
Martian
Doesn't
I
make
don't
Manhunter.
sense.
know. It doesn't. I guess
Right.
it does not really look like Superman though. Beyond the cape. That's all. That's the only reason I said that it would be. All right. Okay.
I'm glad-
Okay. That's
James, I appreciate you calling that out because I wouldn't have noticed it unless we paused it right there. So
True.
Fighting the devil.
All right. What's going on here?
yeah, let me pull that back.
Fighting the
So got the
Some kind of-
apocalyptic like
some
world
kind of
engine
bond-
type stuff
It
going
seems
on.
like a ritual type, some sort
Yeah.
of
Maybe like
somebody dead on that.
I wonder if it's
on
like
that
sacrifice
bonfire.
type deal. Who knows?
What kind of? Wait, is that Is this in Themyscira? Look at the middle, right in front of it. It looks like it could be.
Devil and his army.
I can't
Oh, no.
can't see it big enough here on the stream, but it looks like
I
that
guess we'll
could
know in a
be
few.
Hippolyta.
Could
Is
be.
this like them
Yeah, that's true.
is this like them burying their dead post
Oh yeah.
Steppenwolf? Maybe.
That's possible.
Okay, I'll keep playing it.
Fighting the devil and his army.
Love that
You
shot.
know,
The Omega beam. So that is Darkseid
how many
underwater
demons
there.
he's fought
Yeah, I was
in
about to say this is the first time I realized
Where
it was
does
underwater.
it fit in?
He's never fought us united.
Well, we did hear that there's more dark side than expected.
To stand.
All right, yeah, who's this dialogue?
Fight.
Oh no.
Is that
The time is now.
what's his name? Cyborg's dad.
I don't think so. You're gonna have to scroll back to that Joker little blip there for me. Thank you very much.
Where was it?
You're
A
almost
little
to
finger
it.
blow.
Yeah. Martha.
Is now.
God. It's hilarious how these like tiny little like there's no context to that. I'm just like, it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what that voice is. I mean, the only thing that I could think of is maybe it's a modded voice for Martian Manhunter. Like, maybe they're not
Dude.
using Harry Lennox's.
It's possible,
voice?
but his voice is so like lends itself to it so well, you know. I don't know.
Where was the Omega
You
Beams?
did not catch that one.
In the. Our chat is doing a much better job at this than we
Yeah.
are. This is embarrassing.
Scrub. I love those like Earth shots of Superman. Like I like need one of those shots in every Superman movie. Oh yeah, that's true, isn't
It's
it?
Merman.
Getting
So,
drilled
is that like?
right there. Bam.
So he's in his dark side getup. So
Yeah.
this isn't history lesson.
I'm wondering. You know we saw the trailer with Superman kneeling. Like I'm wondering if I don't know. We're seeing stuff, flashes of what could come to pass type deal.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm wondering
What's
if
crazy is-
a little bit more got thrown in, since there's the potential of not getting a continuation. Whereas the first go around, it was like we're setting up the next sequel, and this like doesn't have quite the same mindset. So I'm wondering if like just more is being pumped in with Darkseid.
Logically you would think that, but he also has been kind of pretty adamant that like this
He
is
also said in that article that came out today that, you know, this is the movie that people were asking for, like his cut of this
Okay.
movie, not a movie that is made to close in, you know, like close up the story. And so, and also the massive cliffhanger. Thing
so-
they said on
Nigel thinks that is Martian Manhunter, the
at the lake
floating-
house.
Yeah. Which that's a good call.
Yeah,
Fits the bill. He
I
looked
could see
like
that.
he had bare arms and stuff.
Yeah, I know that. Like I was saying about the rumored scene that they shot at the lake house with lanterns and Bruce.
Yeah.
It was two lanterns. It wasn't Jon Stewart or Hal Jordan. It was like Toma Ray, and I don't know that. I'm not a Green Lantern buff, so I don't know all the
Sure.
names. But
I love
I
that
see
shot.
that.
Yep. I'm listening to you, Brandon, but I'm not really listening to you.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yep. That's Martha, right?
Maybe.
Why'd you say that
What-
name?
Well, you know what I mean. Like Martian Manhunter,
Yeah.
Martha. Yeah. Man, thank God this thing's only whatever I said. 3 days, whatever hours, whatever minutes, whatever seconds.
Yeah, this week's gonna be
away because
it's gonna be hard to get through until
it's
3
gonna
a.m.
be
Thursday morning.
yeah, yeah. Hey, at least we have the
Martha Manhunter.
I was very very happy that they announced the Kevin Smith.
There he goes. That's
Red
what I was
carpet
talking about,
event.
John. Tomo Ray
you
and
go.
Kilowog. He knows
Yeah.
his stuff.
Love it. Yeah, so
But yeah,
they
go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
no, I mean at least having that event there on the 17th, kind of like you got something on Wednesday that you can look forward to. Kind of knocks off a day, right? Theoretically. Right, Brandon?
Yep.
Right, Chris?
Yeah. Yep. Well, we had,
Right.
I wasn't even expecting this today, obviously.
I wasn't either.
Um,
Yeah. God, that shot is
We were both caught off guard. Or all three of us. Chris, you weren't aware.
I was not.
I
So
wonder if Ray Porter's hand actually looks like that.
Yeah.
we'll have to ask him.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But yeah,
Man, shot is sick.
everything. Dude,
How did they cut this?
I mean, I didn't even want to say it, but Jesus.
Oh man.
I can't wait to see this.
Chris, how much are you looking forward to the Flash stuff? Be honest with me.
I'm really excited to see that. Just to get something.
For those who
I
don't
think
know,
last time
Chris is a huge Flash fan.
So
Man.
wait, hang on. What was this? What was this thing that was thrown?
Go ahead, Chris. Don't let Brandon stop you.
Yeah, you can keep
I
talking.
mean, the first time around, I mean, obviously we've all
Is that the
seen it.
Batmobile?
We've all had our complaints, and we didn't get the Flash as far as I was concerned. Like,
Yeah.
we got some like quirky moments with like an awkward dude, and like I don't know, CW shows not my cup of tea. So I'm really excited to see like
Yeah.
what is for real live action Flash for the first time in my life.
When
so I'm pretty excited.
when you shot shot that comic pull over to me the other day, I was like, oh, Chris really is excited about.
Oh, yeah.
He's excited about this stuff.
I know. It's so great to see. So many people that were like tangentially connected to this fandom. Like Chris hasn't been deep in the woods like we have. But so many people have like gotten really excited for it, and it's been great to see. So is this the Batmobile right here?
Yeah, that might be.
It's like
Did it lose its
Looks
wheel?
like it.
Now, how does it get?
Maybe it gets mangled.
Maybe. Gosh,
Dude,
4 hours.
I live for those. I scroll back to that shot right before the Steppenwolf punch of Superman. It's like the third person deal.
What shot?
The Steppenwolf punch right before it. There's a shot of Superman like third person video game-ish style line. The
one right before it.
I actually think this type stuff, they do a lot of that stuff and From Behind and Man of Steel and whatnot. I freaking live for that. Like the scene in Man of Steel where they're flying through Metropolis at the end and he's just like whipping through buildings. I love that like heavy-handed Superman action that would just I don't know, that's Brandon, you got chills this time?
I got chills. I got chills, and I got a blanket on.
Now, Brandon, do you wish they would have redone this with Robert Pattinson instead?
Well, I've thought about that, and no.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no.
The answer is no. Not that we're
still
not
find
looking
it
forward to
funny.
the Batman. Looking forward to the Batman, but Brandon he's a Ben Affleck.
I just want to know what Pattinson's gonna do with all those pins on his gauntlet. That's what I want to know. He's like writing people tickets.
Well, he's got to write notes back to the Riddler.
Oh, dang
Solve
it.
the riddles.
Ran out of ink. Pulls out another one. Yeah.
You see how the color grading in that Heroes Park sequence?
Oh yeah.
We've seen little shots of it, here and there in the trailers, but it's remarkable how different it is.
Yeah,
Like actually grading it to the way it was shot.
Yeah, exactly. It's a accurate representation of how it was intended to look.
Right.
They didn't try and set it in broad daylight because we got to set it in daylight because dusk is a little too scary for people. That's a mindset.
Looking at you, Joss.
Yeah.
I will say too, some of the I've been obviously in and out on my phone today, but I'm shocked at the initial reactions and stuff that are coming in. Like not that I don't expect the movie to be good, but I mean, people always have their knives out for Zack. It's just it's a fact.
It does seem like the tide has turned a little bit, which is great.
Yeah, and
regardless
I don't know,
of anyone's motive,
yeah,
it works in our benefit. People that love this stuff.
I mean, just pulling, I can read a few of them here on Twitter, like Paul Shirey. He's always been a Zack Snyder supporter, but Zack Snyder's Justice League is nothing short of amazing, both as a film and as a movement. It's everything you hoped it would be and more. This is an epic scale superhero film full of earnestness and care for the world it creates. An exhilarating, thoughtful, and heroic piece of work. And kind of just to speak to what you were talking about earlier, Brandon, someone asked him how much of the theatrical cut made it to Zack Snyder's Justice League. Paul said, maybe 20%. It's so sporadically and so vastly different altogether. So,
man, it's exciting. Outside of this, just in general, of how this opens the doors, depending on how it's received and how well it does, and the money it brings in, of like a different type of director's cut for any movie going forward. As long as there's that support, and you can have so vastly different versions of movies, like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they mentioned too, or Zack mentioned in a New York Times interview that he did, he kind of called this like a social experiment, which is I guess kind of what you're talking about, Chris. It's interesting how something like if this thing knocks it out of the park with numbers and subscribers and whatever, obviously your first thought is, what does that mean for continuation, or what does it mean for spinoffs or whatever? But also, like you're saying, like this is truly like a fan victory, and it created a product that was vastly superior to the studio piece that came out. So yeah, I mean, right. Also, Eric Davis, he said, I can now say that I have watched Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it is far superior to the original theatrical version. Rich character development, much better action, a coherent story, some terrific bad bleep moments. Definitely a long watch, but I never felt tired of it. Well done.
Nice. Yeah, I did read his. And he's one, we had him on the podcast, and we had him on there because he's like a little more level-headed than us. So yeah. It's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, that was the intention of having him on, was somebody who's not, I mean, we live on Twitter for this stuff all day, every day, so we're in the weeds, and he's got a good kind of broad view of the movie industry as a whole. So it was hearing stuff from folks like him is extremely promising. And even Sean O'Connell said today too that
what's up, Trenton?
What's up, Trenton?
4 more sleeps indeed.
That's right.
Good.
Sean also said today that
maybe 3 more sleeps because we're staying up.
That's true. We had that initial discussion. You're like, Ryan, I don't know if I'm gonna, I don't want to be tired when I watch this thing. I just know that when it happens, we're just gonna have to watch it right when it's there. We're gonna watch this Kevin Smith thing. We're gonna get all hyped up, and we'll just yeah.
Well, it's gonna be. I mean, I'm just going to go back to my high school, college days, to where I'm gonna go get some Monster Energy drinks.
Yeah,
get some Funyuns.
Yeah.
You say it like you don't already have them.
No. Gosh, I
Chris,
haven't
you
had one
gotta
of those
you
in
gotta take off
forever.
work and come party with us.
Man,
Gotta
I'm pretty
do it.
bummed. I realized just the other day that I'm going to be on a photo shoot all day. So it's
Ugh.
going to be a late watch for me, and I'm going to just block
Boo.
you guys on chat.
So that's a
We
good
will
question
ruin
because
it.
Chris, you are coming up Saturday, correct?
Yeah, I am. Saturday
So
morning, I'll be
that
there.
won't be your first viewing; it'll be second. Is
Yes.
that correct? Okay, good.
Hopefully.
Good. I'm glad you'll have seen it.
Yeah.
Because then because I will have seen it at least 4 times by then.
Yes, I know.
So
I know this.
I know me and Brandon are watching it at least 3 times the day it comes out. At least 3. We've
How
got
many
3
hours
planned.
does that-
So, yeah, totally feel you there. For
yep,
sure.
yep. Good thing Britt's not on the pod because he can't relate to that.
No, that's true. That's very true. The beard man.
Mountain Dew 6-pack for sure.
I also wanted to mention Stephen Colbert from on Twitter. He said that I
Colbert.
saw Colbert. Names.
You like mix the two of them together. Colbert.
I saw Zack Snyder's Justice League. We'll be talking about this for a long time. Not what you expect. parentheses, no matter
Steven
what.
talking about this for a long time.
Yeah. No matter what you expect. Not what you expect, no matter what you expect. Funnier than the theatrical cut.
I keep seeing that. I keep seeing that's 2 things. Sorry to interrupt you. I keep seeing not what you expect, and I also see funnier
funnier
than
one? Yeah.
yeah. I've
It
seen
sounds
that
like it's
sentiment.
just tasteful. Like actually,
yeah,
well written or well
not
delivered.
shoehorned in,
dry-ish type
lowbrow.
thing.
Yeah,
Right.
Batman.
Something's definitely bleeding. He
Brandon,
is tall.
what if that makes it in? What's going to happen with you?
He'll like it this
Well,
time around.
No, no,
Well,
it's
I mean,
not
I
going
guess
in.
it-
I was thinking about it, and
Listen, I will give anyone the keys to this podcast if that's in there because I'm done. It's not happening.
hey, I'm right there with you.
What's up, Alan?
With you. Yeah, I know, right? I could say that about everything I see in these trailers. I can't believe we're gonna get X
So I do hope
live action film.
the not underwater version of the Omega beams have a little bit more oomph to them, kind of like Zod beams.
Could be, yeah.
This is like a little bit of Yondu kind of like
Could be.
look to me, but I get that it's underwater, so I'm hoping
No
see some
brunch, John.
force there.
Correct.
Yeah.
What is brunch, anyways?
What is that?
Chris, when's the
Yeah.
last time you watched the theatrical?
Not too long. I mean, within the past year, it's been a few months.
Yeah.
What was your reasoning behind watching it?
I had only seen it the one time around, and maybe I'm misremembering, but I think I was like a little lower on it, and you guys were kind of high initially, and then as it sat with you guys and you marinated, then you kind of came down,
Well,
down
yeah.
to where you're hating it now.
We had what was it that Scott said he called it? Basically like cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
Because we were just like rationalizing it, like
So I
yeah,
can
there was
revisit
this,
and see,
all right, and-
where did I really stand? Because you guys changed your opinion so much over time, and I was like, maybe I need to give this another watch, see how I really feel.
Speaking of Scott,
Yeah.
he said the Snyder Cut is everything fans have hoped for. Parentheses, maybe more. It's true though. It's lighter in tone. The DC team up blockbuster we've waited for still has heart and character moments. I teared up multiple times. Oh, Snyder has a pair.
I'm sure he does, Scott.
Yeah. So
Oops. Made this full screen. I don't not like
Also-
you. Yeah.
Also got,
there's that one.
Get the rhythm of that a little bit.
Lightcast also tweeted Snyder Cut is a masterpiece within the genre. It hits on every human level. The film the film makes you crave for more, and you'll get it in this 4-hour epic. This film delivers far past your expectations. You'll watch it again and again, and you'll still want more. And I think I
don't doubt that.
and we'll watch it again and again. I think I Colbert. The rest of the things he said was there's an entire season worth of Game of Thrones in 4 hours. Feels like 2.5 hours.
Which
Hot
season?
Dogs and Cyborg. Do what?
Which season? Hopefully one of the earlier seasons.
Go ask him. Go ask him.
Maybe I
That's
will.
one thing I'm seeing a lot is that, and Zach's mentioned it over the last year a ton, but it sounds like Cyborg is truly like the heart of this thing.
That'd be cool to see too.
I mean, he said it so many times. So yeah.
Yep.
Seems to be.
And the fact that his technology is basically mother box technology. I mean, it lends itself to it very well.
Yep. Nice.
Yes.
Yep.
Nigel, you are correct. You are very correct.
That's the thing. It's going to be so. I know a lot of pods have done like rewatches of 2017 lately. I know that the Film Junkie and all his frequenters over there did a live watch earlier, like yesterday or like maybe Thursday. Obviously, Squadcast guys did it. I've heard this said, a lot lately, which is now that we're getting this, it just takes I guess the beating that is 2017 Justice League, like allows it to be a more of a it just doesn't hurt as much, and we can turn it into like a drinking game or something if we're ever in the mood for something like that. But
you definitely can do that, and I highly recommend go watch if you're gonna subject yourself to it one last time. Do it listening to the DC Film Squadcast commentary. Hysterical. And there was alcohol involved.
I didn't want to watch it again. I didn't want to watch the movie again, but I did listen to the
Let's do it this weekend.
Stream guys just talking about
Chris,
it.
you would love it. It's hilarious.
And I'd also checked out the Squadcast guys, but I did watch along with that one as well. But
yeah.
I have no intention to return to it. I mean, preparing for this, I watched Man of Steel, I watched BVS, and why watch the theatrical?
No, I agree. I mean, anybody who asks me that is not like, in this community, that they're like, do I need to watch Justice League? I'm like, just no, don't do it.
No, I mean, if you've seen it before, definitely not. If you haven't, like Melissa, my wife, has never seen theatrical. I didn't have the heart to show it to her. And so she was like, do I need, yeah. I was like, I mean, it would give you more appreciation for what we have now, but I don't think you need to put yourself through that.
If you're going to do it, watch it afterwards.
Yeah.
I think it'll have more impact if you watch what it was meant to be and then watch afterwards for comedic relief or whatever, see what came out. Because at the end of the day, like a lot of the story beats are going to be the same, like the main story. So if you haven't seen it yet, watch it in its true form, and then if you feel like subjecting yourself to Justice League torture, then you can do that afterwards.
Yeah.
Or you can just rewatch Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's what we'll do.
That's what we'll do many, many times. Forever and ever. Amen.
So Brandon, when do the rest of the embargoes drop? Do you know?
So I'm a little confused about that as well, because I know that Dave the Film Junkie said that press can release their stuff tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of people today that would be considered press have put out, social reactions. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's social reactions can come out today, and then the actual review, so to speak, can come out tomorrow. But I'm
still going to be now. So in all honesty, going into this, I was expecting, just based on track record, I was expecting this thing to get review bombed by people who just, hate Zack. But now that I wasn't really even, I don't know, caring or paying attention to that. I was more interested in what the numbers were going to be, the pure like viewing numbers, subscription numbers. But now that like positive initial reactions are coming out, now I'm like sucked back in that like don't disappoint me, critics.
Yeah, well, 20 years in Gotham, Ryan.
Yeah, you're right.
How many good guys
Agree
left?
with you, James. Agree with you,
How many
James.
stayed that way?
I discarded mine. The videos on Twitter.
So, damn, is this what you're talking about, Jake? That one? Let's get that.
So
Let me
bad.
I would love to hear the direction he got there.
I would love to see
Drop
what
it, drop
his
a little
face
bit more.
would look like without a cowl on doing that expression. Like,
So
we can't really
bad.
tell what you're feeling, so you have to act with your mouth a lot. More, keep going. More than that. Oh, jeez,
Yeah, that's bad.
that's killer. I'm loving the little. I don't know what app it is, but people have been putting up, taking the kind of classic moments in Justice League, and there's an app where basically like their face stays the same, but you can kind of move their mouth and their head, so they're like
Yeah.
putting it, matching it up with music and stuff. It's pretty hysterical.
Yeah, that's cool. Man, funny. I saw somebody did one with Zach today.
Yeah,
That was really fun, like singing some song. I can't remember what it was.
the
Like
one
what you guys sent me
yesterday.
the other
Was,
day with the better lip look, honestly.
yeah, gosh, that's yeah. We've said enough about the lip over the last 3 years or whatever. Also, did you guys see the Weta figurine trailer thing that they dropped today?
I did.
It looks awesome. I'm so excited. They're going to be super expensive. They're like quarter scale statues, and
Brandon's
I
missing
saw
out
the
again.
trailer and I was like, yeah. I was like, Katie, so hypothetically, if one of these, because they're a limited run, one of these is opening up for pre-order this week, what are the chances that she's like,
So
what are we
what's your
thinking? Like,
threshold?
she goes, what are we thinking? Like 500 or 600? I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So the soups one is what, 4th scale?
Yeah, quarter scale.
Whew.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
It's go-
expansive.
Yeah, if they honestly could charge a premium just because of Snyder thing and limited edition, but like my expectation, if they don't do that, it's like 1,200.
Children. I work with children.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yep.
Let's see here. Just watch Popcorn Planet channel. He said Zack Snyder Justice League. Job's good, still not good. They are haters, still haters.
Yeah.
Well,
So
here's the thing.
Popcorn Planet is the what's his face? What's the guy that used to be in is it Cinema Blend? Not Cinema Blend. Somebody in the chat will. I don't know his name. I don't.
Here's the thing. There's gonna be.
He's the guy with the. He does the thing with the Jody guy, and they just hate on it constantly.
to expect that we're gonna come out.
He
of
had
this
a,
thing
he had a
with-
Me Too moment, and now he's
So to expect that we're gonna come out of this thing with all reviews being sparkling, like it's just not gonna happen. So just take
No,
the wins
well-
where you can get them, and
yeah.
just watch. the
Andy
heck out of
Signor
this
is his
movie.
name.
That's right. Yep.
It's like Voldemort. I don't speak his name.
John's got you.
Yep.
John,
There
got
you go. Yep. That's him. Speaking of, if you haven't listened to the vodka stream from Friday, they go into those two characters on that, and it was quite entertaining. I would definitely recommend you listen.
Maybe I dipped out at some point. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was later on in the stream. It was they just kind of the alcohol had set in pretty good, and they just kind of got a little loose lipped.
Yeah.
I think Ash, the guest that they had, was just it was great. You should check it out.
All right.
He got a
there.
subscriber out of me, basically, is what I'm saying. It was amazing.
Nice.
Well, keep drinking, Brandon, and maybe you'll get some.
That's right.
We'll see.
Batman
really tells
koozie,
what to
guys.
think about Andy.
Yeah. What do you? How do you really feel, Brandon?
Does
By
he
the
wear a
way,
belt
Brandon,
buckle, Brandon?
or Chris? I'm
We know
digging the
how you
Hue
feel.
light sequence you
don't
got
know.
going on back there tonight.
You like that? It's
good,
got
yeah.
a 10-hour YouTube
Sure.
video in the background on the TV, just
Oh, there you
throwing
go.
lights.
Nice.
Man.
Good.
Chris
All
has
right.
the best. He has a teleprompter set up where
Not tonight. I don't have it tonight.
When you send me
but I
these
have
pictures
before.
of your setup, it makes me laugh so hard. Oh, it's awesome. I love it. That's we
great.
do the same
I
thing.
love
don't know
it.
why, but all right, guys. Let's now that we've watched the trailer, honestly expected that to last like 15 minutes, and here we are, 41 minutes into the stream. But we wanted to do kind of a little retrospective on Man of Steel and BVS in preparation for this movie. And I know, Chris, you rewatched Man of Steel yesterday. Correct?
Yeah, and then BVS just a minute ago. I finished up and then hopped on here.
Beauty, nice. Gotta love a guy who does his homework. Yeah,
I love it too.
it's great.
It's great. How long had it been since you? So we may get into this, but as far as like, we all watched the Ultimate Edition together for the first time, and I
did.
believe, Chris, did you fall asleep, or did Ryan?
I think Ryan
I
did.
fell asleep. Yeah,
Ryan did.
yeah.
I should have started this
Why did I-
podcast.
was
with
it
I
you,
tucked
Chris.
him in.
Was it late or something?
It was late.
Oh yeah, because Chris got there at 1:00 in the morning.
Something like that.
So
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Just texting you guys from Atlanta on the road.
Chris had the movie, and he had to come from.
We should
Atlanta
make a
to
movie
your
out of us
apartment.
watching that movie.
And so we were waiting on him, and it was 1:00 before he got there. And we're like, all right, 3-hour movie, here we go.
We all worked together at the same company, so we were at the office the next morning at 8 a.m. dragging.
Yeah, it's worth it though.
The company's not around anymore, so
That's right. That is right. All right. So the way I kind of wanted to organize this is I kind of wanted to go one by one, Man of Steel and BVS, and first kind of talk about like what your first, if you remember what your first impressions were when you watched Man of Steel, and then kind of like how over time, like if it's changed over time, if that kind of thing. And I guess start with Brandon. Brandon, you kick us off.
Yeah, so I saw Man of Steel on a Thursday. I think it was or maybe it was a Wednesday. I did the Walmart pre-sale type thing that they had through the store.
Mm-hmm.
We get this fancy little ticket. You got to go see it at whatever options they had near you. And it had like an intro from Zack and that kind of thing. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a kid kicking my seat the entire showing. And that was
what happened to him?
That was not
Brandon
good.
got arrested. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, it was an ordeal.
Brandon, what movie did you throw popcorn at a guy that was talking?
He didn't actually get arrested.
That was actually Batman versus Superman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I told
Yeah,
kids
I
to
did
shut
throw-
up in that movie when I saw it.
The guy in front of me, that's a funny story. I guess I should tell it now. So this was the third time I'd seen Batman versus Superman. I took my my
So
sister
you really
and
had to pay
brother-in-law.
attention.
Yeah. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law were sitting to the left of me, and this guy kept getting on his phone. He was filming the movie, essentially. He kept like filming parts of it and like talking. And I reached over to my brother-in-law's. He had the popcorn in his lap. And I reached over and grabbed the popcorn, just chucked it at the guy. And he was like, dude, he would have thought that was me. He didn't even freeze it.
framed him. You framed
Yeah.
him.
So in an Elseworld scenario, this guy gets up and just beats up Zack instead of me, which would have been also amazing. But yeah, if you don't know me, I don't like when people don't obey theater etiquette. It is like my biggest pet peeve.
It is true.
So if you go into a movie, don't be on your phone. Don't be talking.
If you go to a movie, just hope you're not in a theater with Brandon. That's
Brandon,
what
did I already tell you this weekend when we're coming to watch this in your theater? I already told Kelly she's not allowed in because I'm afraid that she'll be like picking up her phone. I was like, you just
What we're going to do,
hang out
Chris,
somewhere else.
is I've partnered with those
Phones
yonder
in the
bags that
basket.
Dave Chappelle uses at his comedy shows. So when you come into my theater, you got to put your phone in the yonder bag that basically turns it off. It's kind of like an EMP type situation.
You got some technology out in Oyston.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. But yeah, what we're saying. Okay, so I saw it opening week. I was positive on it, but I had issues with it, and I think my main I guess little peeve with it was at my first viewing, and this is just the way most first viewings for me go. I have expectations. I think this is the way things are going to play out. They play out the way they play out, and then upon return viewings, I watch it for what the movie is, and then and then digest it that way.
Yeah.
Because in the moment with movies, I'm just like, okay, I like this. I don't like that. I like this. So this was cool. This was whatever.
Sure.
I think a lot of people do that.
I mean, that's generally how, when we talk about movies, that's generally how it goes. Like, I saw it, I liked it, I need to see it a second time and let you know.
I took issue at first with the unconventional nature of how the story's told in terms of the flashbacks, kind of skipping over the Smallville stuff right after the Krypton stuff and jumping into Clark, being an adult. But then, like I said, upon rewatching it, I love that method. I've kind of, I mean, it's a very similar method that they use, that David Goyer used for Batman Begins. Sure. Yeah, it's definitely grown on me. But yeah, this movie is, it's great. I mean, and that's kind of, I guess, what I would say about most of Snyder's stuff. They're so layered and complex that they usually.
We all love that Brandon, even when he's sunburned.
Yeah.
Show everybody your head, Brandon. Go ahead.
Oh, it is.
Oh gosh,
it's
the sun.
It's fuming. It's fuming. I went to bed last night and I was like, why am I? I feel like I got a fever or something. I feel my head is burning up. And I said, Melissa, did I get sunburnt? She's like, I don't know. It's too dark. I can't see. I'm like, man, I feel. Sorry, I don't know.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
But anyway, this movie just, like I said, it just improves over and over and over upon every rewatch. If I had to complain about anything with it, I would say that I love the Jonathan Kent death scene and what it means to me as a parent, and I agree with it 100%. As far as I know, a lot of people complain about Jonathan not being you've got to show yourself and you got to do this, you got to put yourself out there, whatever, encouraging him. But this to me just screams, this is exactly what I would do if my daughter had this, and
protecting his
I would
kid.
be. I would be so afraid of what the world would do to this person, as a father. And that's what they're portraying. But the problem that I have with it in terms of the way they stage his death is I really wish there was bigger stakes than a dog in the car. I wish there was a kid that was trapped or something that was just a little bigger than, I got to go save the dog. And why'd you leave the dog in the car in the first place? Whose dog wouldn't jump out the door? My dog would be gone. He'd be, my dog,
Your dog
does
love
not stay here.
I have no issue with the dog.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Everybody's
It's
more
just
upset when a dog dies in a movie than a
true.
person.
It is true.
Well, all you millennials care about dogs more than kids. I get it, but I wish there was something. I wish the stakes were higher.
How old are you?
I'm pretty old. Look at my hair, bro. Look at my head.
Oh man, Man of Steel was what made me love superhero movies before. Yep.
Oh, that's what I will say. I meant to say this. That movie, I didn't care about Superman before that movie at all. And after seeing Man of Steel, it made me fall in love with that character. It made that character relatable and not just like this, Mary Sue type character that is just perfect and, unfaltering. And I love that approach. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris?
All right. Chris?
Yes, I first
You
saw
know how this goes. You asked me like initial reviews. We do this on CiNEMACHiNE, and I talked for like 20 minutes. I'm sorry. Chris, go ahead.
Oh, thanks.
We're gonna have to have like a stopwatch on Brandon, like cut it,
We'll
like
just-
hard
I know.
stops.
Cut him.
We need to have a graphic overlay that just like lets me know.
Start playing music.
This is how. Yeah.
Yeah, I first saw this not in theaters, I don't think, or if I did, it was like towards the tail end of it being there.
Yeah.
Maybe like early digital release or, like I said, tail end. But I saw this. I had gotten like a lot of positive buzz from some of my friends. As you guys know, I'm a big Dragon Ball Z nerd, and I have always been. And some of my friends that I grew up with, watching that every day on, Toonami, were texting me like, hey, you got to see this new Man of Steel. This is like the closest thing we're going to get to live action, like, Saiyan battles. So I was, pretty curious. I finally saw it. And I was positive on the movie, but, similar to you, Brandon, it was kind of like, I like this, I didn't like this. I like this, I didn't like this. It was definitely like a little middle of the road, but definitely positive on it. And then I don't think I ever really rewatched it from like beginning to end up until yesterday. So I rewatched it. Still do have some issues with it for sure. Not as high as you guys on it, but I mean, overall, still positive. Things that I really appreciate, things I think they did great.
Yeah.
All right, and that was Chris's opinion, and
He's still talking.
we appreciate him stopping by. Okay, welcome back.
Okay, can I go again? I love this movie.
There you go.
No, it's the best Superman movie we've ever had. Cavill is great.
What's your stick, Chris?
No, I mean, you guys always call me the MCU or the Marvel fanboy. I think I'm pretty even across the board.
I don't know why. I think it's.
I read more Marvel comics, probably.
That's it. Because
I think it's because you wore that Wolverine shirt every day to work.
I knew you liked it.
Also, you had like when first time I went over to your house, you had like framed Marvel comics on the wall. So I think
I got some Spider-Man comics.
Yeah. Oh, you got a Dragon Ball question for you there.
No, that was awesome. DB Evolution, game changer. It really changed the film industry as well as superhero movies and anime adaptations. There's nothing wrong with that film, and it's perfect.
Oh goodness!
I wore a Goku T-shirt to that.
I'm about to remove you from the stream.
But no, there's a lot of things that I love about it. There's things I picked up on the second go round that I didn't pick up the first time that I really appreciated now that I didn't like give a second thought to before. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely positive on the movie, but I'm not in love with it the way that you guys are.
Wasn't one of your issues the color grading for Man of Steel?
Yeah, and it didn't really bug me this time around. There was a few scenes where they seemed a little out of place and kind of inconsistent with others, but it was like me looking for the color grading because I remember that I kind of had that in my head the first go around.
Yeah.
But I don't really know why I was so stuck on that before.
Gotcha. So for me, I am when I saw this movie, I was immediately blown away by it. And I will say, actually, the first.
Well, you were young. You were like 6 years old.
Ryan's
very
young.
impressionable age for you.
I very vividly recall seeing the first teaser trailer for this movie.
Yeah,
and like I
saw it before you, Ryan. I saw it
in
2012 at Comic-Con.
You did.
A year before anyone else saw it.
Brandon drops that every episode. When I was at Comic-Con and saw the Man of Steel trailer.
Hey, it's not a thing anymore. So
yeah, true.
Chris went the year that we were all going to go, and he was like, "That's okay." He like tried to make light of it.
Yeah, felt bad you guys weren't with me.
Play it cool, yeah. So yeah, that from the moment I saw that trailer, I was just being a Superman fan. I was just stoked to see something that was not going to be, not that I dislike Christopher Reeve Superman movies. Like they have their place, and like I enjoy watching them. But they're like I wanted to see. It just doesn't scream comic book to me. Never has, and just see kind of a deconstructed Superman, especially coming off the Dark Knight trilogy, where that game they essentially played that game with Batman. It was cool to see them do that, but do it in a context that was very much like Nolan's films are very grounded in this like technology, like characters, no powers for anybody, and then
you can't really do that with Superman.
Well, yeah, well, Man of Steel basically like had very real human element to it, but stuck it in a very comic book setting. which I is just something that I had never, I don't know, really like felt like I had experienced before, even with the Marvel stuff. And maybe that's just because I'm a huge Superman fan, so I've just kind of been waiting for that to happen. But this film I rewatched yesterday. Actually, I was texting you, Chris, when I was rewatching it. This film holds up like no other for me. I was more high on this film when I saw it in my first viewing than I was for BVS in theaters. When I watched the Ultimate Edition the second time, that changed because I,
Stayed awake.
Yeah. I wasn't watching it at 1 a.m., so I stayed awake.
Yeah.
So over the years, I guess, for me, BVS, the stock has kind of surpassed Man of Steel. I still love Man of Steel. Every time I watch it,
You have
There
an
you go.
ally, Chris.
yeah, there you go, Chris.
Now I don't know how I feel. Was I right the first time? There are a couple of scenes, like I said,
We're
I don't know if
twisting
I was
him.
looking for it, but
Yeah.
the ones that I had been hung up on before didn't hang me up there. Like the daylight scenes before, I was like, it doesn't look like daylight. It's not uplifting. Whereas now it's
Yeah.
like all these
This is
interior scenes were like,
It's a good call, John.
That's true. Yeah, that's a great scene.
Especially given the context.
What do you guys
now.
think? I know a lot of people, as far as the Swanwick, Martian Manhunter thing, you feel like you feel like it's like, I mean, we'll just make this guy, do you think it was like planned? I don't think so. But I know a lot of
seem that way to me.
people feel that. That's why I thought that
I
the
think it's
idea
one of those-
of him,
Good.
I was just saying, that's why I thought the idea of that, okay, Swanwick isn't John Jones, Martian Manhunter. It's Martian Manhunter pretending to be Lois in that scene that we're going to see, or pretending to be Martha in that scene, and then pretending to be Swanwick at that point. Not that he's been Swanwick the whole time. I like that idea, but
So, and it doesn't matter to me if in the storyline it's proven that he has been Swanwick the whole time, even though it wasn't planned. I think it's one of those things where like Zach probably had this idea come to him one day.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's
as,
like it's the whole Leia and Luke are sisters, or Darth Vader is Luke's father. It's like they didn't have that in mind,
Sure. But I'm sure he went back and rewatched, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, like this can fit in context with everything we've done. Like, I'm gonna move
Especially
on."
with that moment, even though it was probably just meant to show that Swanwick just doesn't take crap from people and is not, he doesn't stand down. In retrospect, it's like, oh, that's a cool little element, even though it probably wasn't intended to be.
And there's little stuff like that has been sprinkled in Man of Steel and BVS, like in Man of Steel when they're in the war room and he's got the green classified on the wall behind him for his whole sequence, and like in BVS he's kind of like encouraging Lois or helping her along with her investigation kind of thing. Like, I don't know, there's little things that aren't like overt.
He is,
but
he also has that
lend
like
itself to the character.
I quite like my job line where I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, I just but I feel like they're gonna even if it's a retcon, I feel like they're gonna make a lot of that make sense.
Yeah.
But
it is true. In the, I think it was the IGN interview, he did confirm that in the storyline.
Right, yeah.
It's being
That's
played
what I was
up
saying.
now
I mean,
that,
I liked the idea that it could have been him just deciding at this point, I'm gonna
Martha Manhunter.
There you go. But yeah, I remember Zach did say that in IGN. So it's not the case, and it's cool. I'll accept it.
We got okay.
That's
So
what I was
maybe it
kinda
was
thinking.
Silas. And Chris comes in. He's
Brandon,
like,
do the
It's so
breathing.
crazy because we've thought lines from Silas were like in the Cyborg trailer. We're like, is that Lawrence Fishburne?
yeah. Fishburne.
Leave him
Fishburne. Is that Perry?
Yeah, I love those teasers where like you're watching them. It's the first time I felt like I've like watched a teaser trailer and like I'm paying more attention to the dialogue than I'm paying attention to the visuals. I thought that was kind of cool. Like just everything he's put out has been like trying to like put the puzzle pieces together on stuff that we think's rumored or
You
whatever.
guys did a puzzle?
Yeah, we did. Hey,
Man.
just finished
Hey.
another puzzle.
Seems like a lifetime
yesterday.
ago when we did that.
Yeah.
You guys are part of the SnyderVerse.
Yeah.
Don't get ahead of yourself, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to BVS, and we were all
We're already past Man of Steel.
yeah, we can
Well, let me
we
just
can
go
take it
back and say the things that I appreciated way more this time that I didn't pay attention to before is there was way more emotion in all of the flashbacks than I really appreciated before. Very well done.
This is a good point. Sorry to interrupt you.
Go for
but
it.
I agree 100%. I forgot he was even in the MCU until you just said that,
What was
Caleb.
he in the MCU?
Yeah,
He was in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh,
Yeah.
still can't place it.
If I'm wrong about that.
yeah. See,
then-
Chris isn't a Marvel guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah. Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah, but just like the emotional points in the flashbacks, I think were probably the high point for me throughout the movie, more so than a lot of the action sequences. Some of these sequences that people love, I know Ryan, like you love them going through the city, and like some of it's cool. I don't love that so much. I think all of the Feora battle stuff I really like, just the way she almost kind of lets it like
Freaking
strobe light
love
effect.
Feora.
I think she's the best, fight sequences hands down.
Those
in the movie,
freaking
yeah.
shot that one sequence where she's on the ground with the soldiers. And
Yes,
he just,
that's what I'm talking about.
Like
So cool. I wish we got more of that. And plus, like
Yeah.
the ground fighting
Yeah.
thing, I think makes it a little more impactful. Of like when they're just flying, it's like okay, like
Well,
you're not gonna fall
that-
and hit
that-
anything, or
I think I like that because it really feel like reading Superman comics. Like I really feel like I'm actually like watching a comic book. Like
yeah, no, you can't not do it in a Superman
things.
movie. I get that, but
Yeah.
just in general, I do like
I
that
think
kind of
that's
ground
why
fighting thing.
those sequences like speak to me so much. It actually
Yeah.
feels like it's ripped out of a book.
I can
What's up?
also see the criticism of people that call that last 40 minutes just kind of like destruction porn. It does get a little long in the tooth if, because you've got two people that essentially just
I so disagree.
can't be.
Well, I think it's a great
can't-
setup, for BVS.
True.
No, I love that tie-in. I love that.
Yeah,
And I love how we're gonna get the same thing in Zack Snyder's Justice
Yeah.
League with Superman's death, like starting within the confines of the first film.
and you guys
the
are both
previous film.
really high on all the Krypton stuff we see at the beginning, right?
I am.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
I like a lot of it. On the second go round, I was picking up like a lot of Avatar vibes that were kind of like meh for me, and it was longer than I remember it being.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Which was kind of crazy when I went and I rewatched BVS, and it was like you see how, quick and concise they kind of make the Batman, like the Wayne's
Yeah.
little like story, and it's just
I
so
think-
different than what they do with Krypton, which I get. Like we've seen the Batman thing over and over a lot recently, but the Krypton
I think I'm
thing, I got mixed
sentimental for
feelings
that
on.
scene
we'll get to it,
because
but I still think it's the best version of the Wayne's death by far.
Yeah.
But
Agree.
go ahead.
I think I'm sentimental towards that Krypton scene because kind of what I was talking about earlier, coming off the Nolan films, like that you open
Very
with
comic
that
booky, yeah, I
bad
get
boy,
that.
and I'm like, oh crap! All right, we're doing this. Like this is like real legit Superman here. It's not like Earth grounded Superman. And,
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of stuck with me over the years for whatever reason. But anyways, you can keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I mean that was most of what I was just getting at is like confirming that you guys were as high on the Krypton as I thought
Gotcha.
you were, and there's things I really like about it, and then a few things where I'm like, let's like get rid of the giant bug bird,
Yeah.
and like what's the security like with that codex? He's just like, I'm gonna dive in here and grab it.
The world was ending, Chris. All right.
I guess all the guards and things. I don't know. It's cool, but it's a little drawn out
Little
for me.
penis pods. Did you like the penis,
Penis
pods?
spot, I love those. Those are great.
I like how you censored yourself there, Brandon, for Al's sake.
It's a biological term.
Yeah. True. That's Caleb. That's interesting. I do. It's a shame that I know. I think didn't it
I watched some of
either
that.
canceled or tabled season 2? Am I
They had
correct?
2 seasons. I'm
Or
not
season 3?
mistaken.
Yeah, this is one that I still want to check out though. Kind of like it. I guess I kind of fit it in the box of like Swamp Thing, which I'm just catching up on something that I've wanted
It seemed
to
like
dip my toe in, but I just haven't had time to
I know
do it.
David Goyer was behind it at first. I don't know if he continued to be, but seemed like they wanted it to be more in that Man of Steel world at first when they were creating it, and then they tried to distance themselves because
Gotcha.
it came out when the
What a surprise.
we know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I watched a little bit of it, and I thought it was solid, but I don't know. I can't get into those shows for whatever reason, whether it's CW shows or that show. I don't know. Snyder has spoiled me on his DC stuff, so
I
hard
I was watching this movie last night, and I texted Brandon. I'm trying to pull up the text. But so this is what I said. Like right as I started the movie, I think I texted this like right after the Krypton thing. I said, if they don't continue this storyline, I'm gonna end up in an asylum. I was like losing my mind last night watching this movie. I said, dude, it's gonna be so bad on Thursday. I'm gonna cry so much. Man of Steel hitting particularly hard given the circumstances. So
I'll have a box of
Brandon,
Kleenexes.
I told Brandon that he needs to have a couple boxes of Kleenexes in there for me.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm not crying. You're
par for the
crying.
course.
Yeah, right.
So how was your rewatch last night, Ryan? First time was it the first time you watched on your new setup?
Second time I watched it on the setup, the projector, and awesome. Like, there's just something about watching a movie on a projector that is just different from watching it on television. Just like feels more epic, or I guess that's the best way to describe it. Yeah, this is the first time though I watched it with my new soundbar setup, rear seekers.
I agree, John. Suck it, Chris.
He's bred to be a scientist.
You gotta let people
and he's
read
Jason
them when you
Bourne
put
all
it
of
up
a
on
sudden.
screen.
Oh
man.
yeah, that's true. It is a long.
You're just like, oh, suck it, Chris. See?
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Good point.
Yeah, there you go. And no, I agree with you 100%, John. But this is the first time I watched it with my new soundbar setup, 2 new rear speakers, and I know you hate the soundbar market, Brandon, but it was awesome. Katie, when I started, Katie was in the shower. She came out. She goes, she sees I'm watching Man of Steel. She goes, I knew you were watching one of these movies. I was in the shower and the house started shaking.
Yeah, is it just like me and my setup, or is like the everything dialogue really low compared to the rest? Because I was turning this up and it was literally shaking that house with everything else.
It's yeah. Yes. It's not just you. But no, it was a good rewatch. I'm excited to. I know we're gonna rewatch BVS, Brandon, on Wednesday before the Kevin Smith event. So,
Yep.
Thinking about rewatching Wonder Woman tomorrow or Tuesday.
Nice.
84, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 84.
Definitely not.
Nice.
Brandon, you rewatched
Yes,
Man of Steel recently, right?
sir? Yeah, Man of Steel.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
I watched it for the first time in the theater, in my theater. It was great. I mean, I watched it with my daughter. And then I've now
Yes, first
introduced.
time for Luna. Yeah.
Yeah, she's 6, about to be 7. I've had all the DCEU figurines around. I got posters and all this stuff in the downstairs area. And so she's seen all this stuff, and I'm like, all right, 6 years old, about to be 7. I don't know if this is too young for you to watch this, but we're watching it. So we watched it. She loved it. And also watched BVS.
Did she cry?
But yeah, she didn't cry.
How was she with the Pa Kent scene?
That's what I was wondering.
She it made an impact, but she didn't cry
She
about
was
it.
like, it was like twisted, kind of like. Did she?
She
see
was
the dad
like-
die, and she was like, yes.
She said verbatim, she said, I wish that there was more stakes than a dog in the car than, you know. And I was like, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a joke, guys. It was a joke. You're supposed to
Well,
laugh.
I was
Everybody
reading the
wants
comment.
Caleb's
I was
comment.
ignoring you.
Yeah. Yeah. Caleb said, I think Zach has stated that Jor-El has had learned hand-to-hand combat and other military stuff from Zod, so he knows how to ride those creatures and fight. And S-word.
Yeah.
Got you covered, Al.
Yep.
Got you covered.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and
go
I
ahead.
guess so a lot of the people that complain about Jonathan not being the like the person that's like trying to push Clark into the Superman role, so to speak. I love how they play both sides by including Jor-El and Pa Kent. Whereas like they allowed Jor-El to be the one that's pushing him in that direction, and then they have the Pa Kent angle where it's like, I don't know, maybe not, maybe you should, I don't know how this is going to go.
Well,
Not
it's
that
cool
he doesn't
they both
want him.
push for him to choose. And that was kind of like a big theme throughout.
Yeah. I think
was
that
one
I just think
thing.
that that's something that's overlooked is a lot of the stuff that people associate with the Pa Kent role in his life. They allowed Jor-El to be that because with the whole like codex, him being uploaded in the ship and that kind of thing. So he still had a little bit of a relationship there.
That was one sequence that rewatching last night stood out to me. I've always enjoyed it, but for whatever reason it stood out was when he's on the ship with Zod's ship with Lois, Superman, and Lois gets in the escape pod. It gets damaged, and she's kind of crashing down towards Earth. And Superman reconvenes with Jor-El for the first time. He says, "Strike the panel." It breaks away, and he says, "Look." He looks and sees Lois falling, and Clark says, "Lois." He says, "You can save her. You can save all of them." He's like looking at him right in the eyes, like it's like a real like fatherly moment. Which was cool because I felt like, not that you don't get that in the scout ship when he's teaching him about their race and stuff, but it felt like it was more of like a download for Clark. This is the first time it really feels like he's like just being a dad.
Russell Crowe is definitely great throughout the entire thing.
Agreed.
Better than Brando, I think, for Jor-El.
Yep. Later, Trent. Thanks for stopping by.
Adios.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love all that stuff, and I know a lot of people, for whatever reason, I don't get it. They have hangups with like all the Christ imagery, but like this character is like it's so like steeped in the Superman lore, the whole Christ parallel stuff.
Yeah.
And I love all that throughout this whole, so far the first two movies that involve this character in Snyder's universe. And I'm sure there'll be other things like that tie in, but I mean, it just makes so much sense. And I don't know. I love it personally.
Yeah.
But
Chris, we got a guy asking what your
a lot
favorite.
of people say it's heavy-handed. I don't agree.
Your favorite, real quick. Your favorite MCU movie and your favorite DCU movie.
Well, DC, hands down, you guys already know. BVS. A little spoiler for a few minutes from now. I love it. MCU, I don't know. Those ones are kind of scattered for me. Like, I really like the original Iron Man. It has problems, but especially what it did when it came out, and just it in itself, I really like. Winter Soldier was cool. And I liked Infinity War a good bit. I like that one definitely more than Endgame.
I think we may have the same top 3 MCU movies.
A lot of them I don't really like at all.
Yeah.
And so many of them are just kind of like meh for me. Like, I love that there is the MCU. As a comic book fan, as a nerd, like, it's awesome that they keep pumping stuff out. They get people excited. They make people learn about these new characters, and they affect the comics in turn. So it's awesome that they have the MCU, but there's a lot of it that I'm like, meh. But those 3, I am pretty high on.
Cool.
Definitely BVS.
Yeah.
Brandon, what about you? don't know what your favorite MCU movie is.
I've honestly never even gave it any thought.
Well, now's the time.
This is why we talk about DC movies exclusively here on this show.
I love the MCU though. I just haven't ever.
Well, you love
thought about,
Guardians
what's
because
my
you like
favorite?
Drax,
Right?
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
you love him.
I don't know. I mean, I'd honestly probably be some there with what Chris is saying. I mean, I love the first Iron Man. I don't ever return to these movies. Like, I don't ever just put them on and watch them. I do love them and I like them.
Well,
I feel like they're just different. I don't know. It's more of a TV show. It's like a TV series than it's like.
There's so much. What's so great about these movies, these DCU movies, is there's so much depth to them. Like, I feel like the Marvel movies, they've got heart for sure, and they've got the comedy thing going for them, but it's just not as like there's not as much substance in my opinion.
Yeah.
Rewatchability and that kind of thing.
Well, I think with the Snyder stuff, but not the rest of the DC.
What do you mean? Oh, Snyder stuff. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Gotcha.
Maybe you said that. I wasn't listening.
He said
No,
DCEU.
Okay.
Yeah. MCU stuff I just don't return to as much. I love it, but I just don't rewatch stuff. But I do like the Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man, so I watch the Spider-Man stuff over and over. And you talk about like something that's rewatchable. I mean, I watch Into the Spider-Verse a lot. Maybe that's because I have a kid, but I just love that movie. And I grew up on the Maguire stuff, so I love those too. I return to those a lot, but
Yeah.
I just don't rewatch the MCU stuff as much, if ever. But I love Iron Man. I love the Captain America stuff, and
I'm a big fan of the first Cap.
Really, I like
that one. Is like, I don't know.
That's
It's just such a here's a character and he's on the screen. We'll get to doing something with him later. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for that one,
Same thing with Thor.
I felt like the
I don't like
I feel like I like the trailer for Captain America more than I like the movie itself. I don't know. I felt like I got all I needed in the trailer. Maybe I don't know what that says about the trailer or the movie, but all right. So,
and as far as DCEU, BVS,
you don't even need to answer.
Well, it was part of the question, Ryan. If
We
you want to
know.
answer, go ahead.
Yeah, but we know.
Okay.
Go ahead, Brandon. Answer. Go ahead.
No, I did.
Okay.
It's over.
All right.
So do we all have the same answer?
Yes.
I think so.
Cool.
That's why we're
hive mind mentality.
Right. All right. Let's talk a little BVS since we all love it.
Boom.
We do.
Yep. Chris,
Yo.
when was the first time you saw this? What was your initial reaction to it? That kind of thing.
Opening day. I dragged a bunch of my friends who were not like super, cinemaphiles, big into the comic book stuff. Those guys along with me. Bought all the tickets, picked like center back row, went for a later show time so I wouldn't have to deal with any kids in there.
Nice.
Sure enough, there were some parents that brought a bunch of kids and a bunch of their friends, and they were sitting like right in front of me and to the right. And right off the bat, they're all just like giggling and talking and snickering, and I'm just boiling, and I'm like, ignore them.
You guys both had like scarring experiences.
And one of my buddies is next to me, and I can tell he's pissed off, and he even leans over. He's like, I hate this. And I was like, okay, it's not just me. I'm not being like too much.
Yeah.
These kids suck. And it got to the scene with like Lois in the tub, and they were like, oh my God. And they just like kept giggling to each other. And I just like, I leaned over past their parents because the parents were sitting behind them. And I was like, hey, can you guys shut up? And they were like, oh my God, I'm sorry, sir. And they'd shut up the rest of the movie. And the Al word parents just sat there and didn't say anything.
You're so small too. It's amazing.
I
to
know,
listen
it's
to
crazy.
You, It's wild.
So I felt like I was
Speaking
Batman
of
that
that
night. I was a
bathtub
hero.
scene, Chris.
Yes. Did you snicker?
Oh boy.
I got in trouble for that bathtub scene the other night when we watched it with Luna.
Did you pause?
I forgot. Like Melissa looked at me. She was like, "Are you gonna fast forward this?" Was like, "It's fine. Nothing happened." He just gets in the tub, and then he like gets in the tub, takes his shirt off, and she's just like looking at me. Like I was like, "Oh, I'm in so much trouble now." Because not only did I have Luna there, I had my nephew there too, and he was like, "Oh boy."
Ooh la la.
But yeah, it's
But yeah, I got past that.
Sorry.
The kid shut up the rest of the movie, and I got to just take it all in. I loved it, still love it. I mean, I thought it was like such a cool take on this pissed off Batman. Like he's been in Gotham 20 years now. We've seen that like Robin has died. We see that he's branding people. He doesn't care. He's filled with paranoia of Superman. And we see the reasoning behind it. Like I love all the dialogue that he has with Alfred, and I think you have to pay attention to that to like make sense and appreciate things that happen later. So when everybody after the fact is making fun of like, well, Martha, I mean, it made total sense to me. He finally was humanized in his eyes.
They do so much in that movie to like explain his like how broken he is.
point of view.
Yeah, like
I thought it was awesome. I love that take on Batman. I love that we finally, I think for the first time ever, maybe since you guys are really high on, Christian Bale take, we'll disagree, but I think this is the first time we've seen like a truly intimidating Batman that makes sense. He terrifies criminals. I mean, that first scene
is interesting
where like those girls won't come out of the cage and he's just like in the corner and like the shotgun's going after him.
Yeah,
love that.
It's still
the
here.
warehouse
It's not-
scene.
He's still here. It's like it's still here. It's like a monster.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And
So-
the like screams coming from the guy like up top, like when the cops like
And
going up, and it's like these like
the
moaning
music
like
when they like
guttural.
and they like pan up like and like focus in on him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah,
And I mean, the music too. In this, I mean, maybe you guys just appreciate Man of Steel more, but nothing with the music and that does a whole lot for me. Whereas this one, I'm just immersed in it. Like everybody has a little theme, whether it's Lex or Batman or Wonder, whoever it is.
definitely.
So this movie
disagree
definitely
with
immerses
there.
me. Okay, you always.
I think
do
that
with Man
score
of
is
Steel.
amazing, but I love this score too.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It doesn't capture me the way that this one does. This one really like I feel like I am just in it. It's hit me.
I
from
would
all sides.
actually, I would probably tend to agree with you, Chris, on this one. Just like I feel like Junkie does a good job of incorporating the elements that I loved from Zimmer's score in the first one.
Yeah,
So
and I love Zimmer stuff in this.
Zimmer
It
is
stands
in
out
this.
more.
He did the score. Junkie helped him, but
yeah, but I mean like the mixing and stuff. Like it's
I
just
get
I
what
don't
you're
know.
saying.
Chris
Brandon's just
gets
being
it.
defensive.
Gosh.
I was just trying to save you from the comments.
Yeah. Oh, and then also another story that we can tell from our past with this movie is before it came out, we were all pretty hyped. We were, as a whole, avoiding trailers, trying not to have too much given away for us.
What did you spoil for Brandon?
I spoiled for Brandon. He had not started season 2 of Daredevil. I think that's what it was. Ryan,
think
you and I had
spoiled
both.
season 2 of Daredevil for him.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
you spoiled something in this movie for
I
him.
think it was just we had both been talking about season 2 of Daredevil, and we were like, "Oh, that scene with the prison." He's like, "There's a prison? Thanks for the spoiler alert. You ruined this for me." And then he was so offended. And like a
sitting
week
in-
goes by, and he's like, "Yeah, I mean, it sucks that the news broke about Doomsday being in this, huh?"
that's
I was
what it
like,
was.
"What?" Oh,
That's what it was.
So in my head, the Doomsday thing happened before the Daredevil thing, but I guess I could be wrong.
no.
I don't know. It's all just in my head. Is
don't think it- I
one
think it
is
was
not
together.
equal to the other, but
I
you
just
spoiled
remember
Doomsday
we
for
were
me.
all in the marketing room and we were talking and I was like, "Oh, that prison scene," and Brandon's like, "No," and walks like rushes into the design room.
So mad.
Well, y'all were talking about it like because it was teed up to be that like oneer. They're trying to do that oneer thing that they
That
did in
hallway.
season 1,
Yeah.
and I just didn't want to know any logistics of when to expect it.
Did you want to know about
So-
Doomsday before you found out about him?
No,
Yeah, that-
but they put it out in the marketing.
And I avoided it until you. But in any case, I
I
still
just saw it. Sorry.
still appreciated it. I didn't hate the Doomsday thing. I know some people
Listen,
did. I wish it was done a little differently, a
I
little
didn't-
more attention
I
given.
didn't watch
but-
the trailer either. They spoiled it in like images
Hey,
on websites. Like they
we're past
showed
it,
the
Brandon.
Doomsday picture.
Look, what happened was you got too Twitter happy online. That's what happened. Coming up to release there. This wasn't a Snyder Cut thing where we knew.
No,
it
I'll
was
tell you what
gonna
it
happen
was.
quickly.
Tell you what it was. It was
Tell me
Screen
what it
Rant.
was.
They posted it in one of their articles. It was the actual like image of
Brandon's
the
I
article.
love that you
Hard
remember who it was.
Yeah,
Just the way that I remember who spoiled it for me.
it was like 11:33 a.m. on.
Chris,
Yes,
I've apologized multiple times.
you have.
I'll continue to
I have
apologize.
not accepted
I'm
any of
sorry. I'm really sorry.
It's not okay.
If I know Chris, he's gonna hold this over your head until you die, Brandon. So
I'm gonna hold it over that burnt head of yours. You're worse than those little kids in the theater.
I flew
I'll
too
hold it.
close to the sun.
Yeah, you did.
That's what happens.
Zach.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah,
all right.
definitely high on this movie. This was the first time in a while I had rewatched it. Maybe the second time I'd seen the Ultimate Edition. I mean, maybe the last time I watched it was with you guys. I can't remember. In any case, it'd been a while. Still super high on this movie. I will say, I wish they cut out the entire Lois tracking down the bullet plot point.
Interesting.
Think
It
so?
does nothing for me. It doesn't kind of
They
like
did
make
that
sense.
in the theatrical version.
Yeah, that is true. They did.
Yeah, I don't like it. It doesn't make sense. Like even in the theatrical where it was like, she still did pay
Why
some
don't you think it
attention
makes
to it. It's like, why
what's your
is
take
Lex
on it?
developing like these bullets of a different type of metal? And that's like his little, I'm caught for this. Like,
What? It's just that you're just talking about like him developing his own weapons. Is that what you mean?
well, just it's this squad of goons that he has in Nairobi, and they use like this. Only he has this bullet, so they can definitely be tracked back to him. And he's like, yeah, just shoot a bunch of people and burn them. It's fine. I'm not worried about these bullets that can only be traced back to me. And she just keeps tracing it down. And I don't know. You're going to get to like Lex did it otherwise. So it didn't add anything to the movie for me. It was just more reason to have Lois in it. And I don't.
So Ryan, what?
That got away at the like perfect time.
I love
And
you,
I
Chris.
just don't like.
Yeah. Just don't like Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I don't.
Oh, you're crazy, Chris. You're crazy. Oh, it's awesome.
She's
that's
not
one thing in
Lois
Man
to
of
me.
Steel that stood out to me. The Arctic stuff with the scout ship. She's great.
Yeah, I don't know. She's just not Lois Lane to me. I don't know.
You're more of an Eric Endurance kind of guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Longer.
I mean, do you remember that one episode?
I do
Yeah?
remember.
You know what I'm
season
talking about.
4. I do remember season 4. Yeah.
I don't know. She's just like a much
he knows
tougher
exactly what
figure
it
to
is.
me and all the animated stuff and the comics. And I just feel like Amy Adams is trying to be tough rather than actually being like tough. I don't know. I'm probably nitpicking. I know that everybody loves Amy Adams.
Just
She's
wait
America's
till you see
sweetheart.
till you see the Snyder Cut.
I
You
just
wait.
don't
You
like
just
her.
wait.
Yeah, but nothing came from it.
He ain't lying.
I know, but like, what was the payoff from it? Like, they talked a little bit,
We
and he
haven't
was like,
gotten it yet. All right.
"Yeah, I guess
wait.
maybe it'll come back around." And I'm like,
Thursday.
"Okay." But in this in itself, I just wish that plot point was kind of gone because it didn't add anything for me. It was just more Lois that I don't like. But overall, I love this movie. I love the score. I love this Batman, the best Batman ever.
I
It's
did
awesome.
not know
I
that
agree.
you thought he was the best Batman ever. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cool.
And then Keaton.
No wonder Brandon likes you. It's
can
all
stay,
coming
Chris.
together now.
You totally redeemed yourself.
Britt probably wouldn't say that.
Has he seen this movie?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's an MCU boy.
Too
He has-
busy, he's too
I'm pretty
busy
sure he saw
rewatching
it with us,
WandaVision
Ryan.
right now. You know,
Pretty sure he saw it with us.
he's taking down notes for the re-review of WandaVision.
Hear me out about both.
Yeah,
I love you, Britt.
yeah, we do. Brandon,
Yes, sir.
talk to me. Talk to me about BBS.
Well, I think this was the first movie you and I saw together. If I'm not mistaken.
Was it our first movie?
I think so.
Interesting.
Thanks for remembering, you jerk.
I mean, I remember going. We've seen a lot of movies together, Brandon.
We went into this review embargo broke that Monday, and hellfire just rained down, and everybody hated this movie critically. I remember where I was. I was at a volleyball game. Happened to look at Twitter, and review embargo had broke, and everybody was just taking a big dump on this movie. I was like, oh god. So we had that going into it. You, myself, our wives, Britt, and his wife Kelly,
Did Britt see this
and
one? Nice.
I'm pretty positive that he did. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he did.
Did he
I
have
don't
the
know.
beard back then? Because I don't remember the beard.
He didn't.
Okay. That might
We
be
have
fun.
seen movies together with him before, but anyway, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. But
I
think he
remember
did.
that.
As well as Mr. Al Moses, our little partner over on CiNEMACHiNE.
That must have been tough for you.
This was the last movie,
Pause.
last
We
comic
gotta
book
talk about
movie.
this. We got to talk about this. Chris actually, so I was actually not going to watch this show, and I do want to check it out because of what Chris told me. Go ahead, Chris.
I was kind of on the same boat as you. I was not really excited for yet another CW superhero soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's cool that they're putting the characters out there and people are really into them. I'm not a big fan of what the CW does with their shows. They're fine for the people who are in them. They're just not my cup of tea. And then when I saw this was announced, same boat as you, I was like, man, it's just another one of these. Don't care. I was never really a fan of that guy portraying
Tyler.
Superman. Yeah. But I started seeing some buzz about this online. I was like, I keep hearing a lot of people saying they're pleasantly surprised. So I just checked out the opening scene, and I was blown away with what they put together. I thought that, the production value was fantastic. We had been reviewing WandaVision, which kept touting this huge budget, and I honestly thought that this looked, just that opening scene at least, maybe it falls apart afterwards because it's all I'd seen, but that opening scene I thought looked way more cinematic than anything we had seen to that point in our viewing of WandaVision.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like really well done and definitely piqued my interest to watch some more.
Yeah, I kind of in the same boat. I watched the intro sequence that you had sent me. I don't get the casting for him or Lois, Superman or Lois in that show. But the suit's a huge upgrade from what he had before, and the production value was solid. I love the Action Comics nod also. So yeah, that's one that I want to check out. But I have not done it yet. Sorry, Brandon. Continue.
No, it's okay. Yeah, acknowledge this, that BVS made John like Batman. He's like the yin to my yang.
Good.
So
Nice.
Man still made me like Superman. BVS
Look
made
at
me
that.
like Batman. Very cool. But yeah, so we saw it in IMAX, Brian and I. And my first viewing, like I said, I'm weighing things, picking things I like. It's like one of the the first time you watch BVS, you get that opening sequence with the Martha and Thomas death, and then you've got it's like cross cutting between Bruce at the funeral and he falls into the cave, and when he's like lifted up by the bats, I was like, oh, what are they doing? Like they have, and then you realize, oh, it's a dream. It's like thing, and I was like, oh, okay. So you've got you're like filling it out. And then there's stuff, because they cut out so much of this movie, you're just trying to fill in the gaps. I still liked it a lot. My takeaway, I remember walking out of that movie, I think we went and ate like Mexican or something after at the place next to the mall, and we were like, I remember just being like, give me a solo Ben Affleck Batman movie. That warehouse scene was worth
Great.
Worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Your nightmare scene.
Yeah, I like that. I remember, Chris, you weren't high on the nightmare scene.
No, I love the nightmare scene. I hate the fight choreography, and I stand by it watching this.
Well, just to give you a little context,
you have before, but let's
Richard Citron, who is Ben's stunt double, they said they had a very, very limited, short amount of time to prep for that, and he had like the flu or something that day. Like he was sick.
Where did we hear that? Was it BVS by the Minute where they talked about that?
I know he said it there. He also said it on like Holy Batcast. But
nightmare scene's awesome. The fight choreography when he comes out of that trailer, just kind of like.
There are moments when you're like, you can see like people waiting to be hit and things like that. But
it's like they'll run up to shoot him, then they'll wait till he turns, then they run up again and like swing the gun, and then he like pushes them aside. I don't know.
I get
You
it.
you also pay a ton of
it.
attention to like weapons. We call you our
Combat.
weapons expert. Yeah,
It's true.
So,
That's you. It's your title.
Thanks, guys.
But let's see what. Okay, so yeah, I love after repeat viewings, obviously, and there have been many. I mean, many repeat viewings.
Oh, haven't there?
I mean, Ben Affleck, like Chris, like I assume Ryan, best Batman ever, and
Maybe come back.
do you mean you
I
assume?
know. I know. I don't want to speak for you, but as Chris already said, he spoke his, he said his piece. Spoke his truth. But the nightmare sequence, it's amazing. Like I love
aesthetic and the
everything
clothing.
about it.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite Batman costume, so to speak. I remember seeing like that in the trailer. I
Oh,
was
by the
like,
way, I've got this awesome
what are they doing
1/6
here?
scale Hot Toys of that
Oh, for real?
costume. Yeah.
Do you know that I got Brandon in trouble with his wife
want to
over
show you
that?
Hey, why don't you bring it over? Bring it with you
No, I
on
can't
Wednesday
do
when
that.
you come up. Yeah, bring it. We need it for
Where did
social.
I go?
We need to take some pictures for social.
What'd
Do
you
it.
do with my Batman? With my Batman
For the
figurine?
band. For the band.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
No. So yeah, but I love
It's a running
I love
joke,
everything about
everybody,
this
that
movie.
I got the Nightmare Batman Hot Toys figurine and Brandon didn't. I rub it. in
Brandon
his
got
face.
guitar lessons.
I was wanting it before it was on sale. I tried to convince my wife to be, hey, why don't you buy it? She's looking for something for me for Christmas or whatever. I'm like, this would be a good gift, Kept hinting and hinting and hinting, and now it's like $500-$600. So
At least, yeah.
whatever. What are you gonna do?
Steel
Fine,
Run.
eventually.
I'm just stealing yours. That's what it's gonna come down to. But no, I love this movie. Like Chris was saying, I love that this is a universe where there's history already in place.
Mm-hmm.
I love the state that Batman is in his life because of, like Chris was saying, so much stuff has happened in his life that's put him in this, and especially seeing, even if it wasn't intended, and they kind of did this as a retcon, so to speak, as far as, okay, let's give. You look at Man of Steel. A lot of people critically complained about, there's so much destruction and so many people that died, yada yada yada, and Snyder's like, okay, you got complaints about that? We're gonna show you a side of that is gonna, show you why Batman would have an issue, and we're gonna make a whole story about, a character like Superman who has, unlimited power essentially. In his mind, he's on a path for good, but you can see how people could see him as a threat, especially Lex Luthor and Bruce's perspective in that opening sequence with him in Metropolis. I knew from the get-go that I was going to love this portrayal of Batman. When you see Bruce running into the chaos, everybody's running away and he's running towards it, and I'm like,
this version of Bruce Wayne is what I wanted to get from Christian Bale in Dark Knight Rises, because it was, I was told it was going to be an older Batman, and it was just kind of, Dark Knight Rises kind of fell flat for me with his character a little bit. Like, this is what I wanted. Like, I love the damaged psyche element, and yeah, it's just you can't beat anything out there in Batman on screen. You can't beat it.
No, it's the best, to me. It's the best portrayal of Bruce and It's like Keaton. I like Keaton. I grew up on Keaton. I think he's got a good Batman, but I don't care too much for his Bruce. Then for Christian Bale, he's got a good Bruce. I don't care as much for his Batman. But this is like both, like
Clooney and Kilmer.
perfect. Who?
Never mind.
But yeah, so I'll let Ryan speak. I've said a lot per usual, but
No,
I
so
love this movie.
kind of like what I mentioned earlier. Watching this movie for the first time, my takeaways were, I loved the aesthetic. I loved the darkness of this movie. I loved the Batman in this movie, and I loved the nightmare element that was kind of first introduced here. I felt like it was something that we just had not really seen before, kind of like that Krypton sequence where it just feels like it's something that's actually ripped out of a comic book. Brandon or Chris, you just watched Apocalypse War this week. You were telling me the DC animated. tell me that nightmare stuff doesn't like reek
for sure.
of yeah.
Just so great to see like Apocalypse,
Right.
you know, live action.
Yeah, it's awesome. I will say when I watched it in theaters for the first time, there were those like, especially a lot of things involving Lex's storyline where I was like, just like connect the dots, like, you know, the desert thing, and then the testify or I can't remember what her name is, but when the woman who testifies in front of Congress, like I couldn't make the connections that needed to be made to make that sequence make sense. And then the Ultimate Edition came out. And when I watched that movie awake for the first time, it was just weird. It was a weird experience because I was like, oh, like it just like fills like all the gaps that I had, questions I had for why things were happening. So it kind of just put band-aids on everything that I really had like legitimate gripes with about the movie. And ever since then, the stock just keeps rising for that one. It's my favorite movie of all time. So, you know.
How do you like Lex in this, and how did you like it the first go around?
Do what?
How do you like Lex in this, and how did you like him the first go around?
I know that you guys. Well, I know you guys have some issues with him. A little bit of like overacting, I guess, in certain parts. I don't know if that's how you describe it, but
I think. Well,
go ahead.
No, I'll let you finish.
No, so I love this. I have been wanting to see this. I had been wanting to see this side of Lex in live action. You see it in a lot of the animated stuff. You see it in comics. Like he's wealthy, he's smart, but he is crazy. And you know, maybe you see it a little bit in like Superman Returns with, you know, Lex's dialogue with Lois and stuff, but it's just not the same like diabolical crazy that you get in BVS. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of like fluff crazy. So a lot of the scenes that people kind of pick apart with him, I actually like. I don't really have anything that I don't like with his performance. And that stayed true from the first time to now.
Well, my issue was with the theatrical version, because in the theatrical version, they cut out so much of that stuff that it revolves around Lex.
No,
it makes him come across as just weirdly crazy.
I agree. Like they, as far as like his storyline and like making what he did make sense, it's night and day between theatrical and Ultimate Edition. As far as like his character and how he acts is kind of more of what I was talking about.
No, I mean he is probably the thing that you're right, Chris. Or maybe it was you, Ryan, that said it. He was the thing that I had the most issues with in terms of his take on the character. But I will say this. He's probably the thing that improved the most in that movie itself upon rewatching the Ultimate Edition so many times.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I really do enjoy, because you have to like, most of his dialogue is so cryptic and like riddly that you can't appreciate it if you don't sit like because at first it just comes across as nonsense, but then when you actually think about what he's saying, it's like, man, this is brilliant.
Civilization on the wane, manners.
Exactly. Yep. The Lois Lane,
Lola and slacks. Yeah.
Well, what is it? The direct connection to get to Superman is a pretty little road named Lois Lane or whatever he says.
Yep.
It's great. There's so much stuff in like that sequence. That whole sequence is like, it's jam packed with that kind of dialogue. And it's
I love
great
when Superman pops over that ledge and he's just so quick to like pop the timer up. Like he's like, okay, don't hurt me. I got to explain myself. Like,
I would not let them tell me. Yeah. It's so great. Man, but yeah, when you got here, you had an hour. Now it's less, or whatever he says. Yeah. It's so good.
I mean, same as you, Brandon. I had issues the first go around, but now I like. Part of me still would like to see what the classic Lex Luthor would be, more so than like this weird take. But I'm not bothered by him the way I was like the first, viewing that I had. I've definitely come around and I appreciate it. And, it's cool to see something a little bit different with him.
I mean, and then the way they leave his character at Arkham Asylum or in the prison,
Going to
and he's like ding, 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 ding. That whole thing, it rubbed me the wrong way upon initial viewings, and it's grown on me because you also get more of him in the cell with Batman and the Arkham Asylum stuff and all that stuff.
Agreed there, buddy. For sure.
But yeah, he ain't lying.
It'll be interesting to see in Zack Snyder's Justice League how he kind of evolves post the interaction with Steppenwolf in the scout ship. And obviously we saw, maybe we haven't seen anything that Eisenberg delivered in the post-credit scene for Justice League. I know Manganiello's was stuff Zach shot, but
I think his stuff, except for that one line of "Shouldn't we have a league of our own" or whatever, is everything else is what Zach's shot. But
I love in the trailers, if you want, what does he say? If you want the Batman, here's something that can help you.
Batman, here's something that can help you.
But yeah, go ahead.
No, I was I've grown to appreciate that character so much, and I understand people that it's just polarizing, but that's Zach's movies. I mean, he has a take, and he's gonna like go all the way with it, and that's what I love about it. So
that's what he said in the New York Times interview today. He was like, "I love making movies that make people uncomfortable," kind of thing. Like that's not verbatim,
it's true, and he knows it. It's like he talks about it all the time, just like how
Zach loves how people still talk about BVS, even though
nobody talks about any other those movies. Like they talk about his.
Yeah,
it's like love it or hate it. People talk about it, and that's what's great. That's what makes it art. It's not just fluff popcorn entertainment. It's not it's not easily digestible. You don't move on from it after you watch it. You sit and you think about it.
Yep. Agreed.
But
John's full of hot takes tonight. That
I know
Brandon loves. He's
hot.
speaking to Brandon's heart.
Because I'm out. John's in.
But no, I love it. Did you talk, Ryan? Did you give your thoughts? I can't remember.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I talked about it, yeah. Brandon's like, I don't know. I just ramble on and on.
So for those that don't know, we do this other show, CiNEMACHiNE, and Al is our the third wheel, so to speak. He went to see this movie with us, and this was the last movie the last superhero movie that he went to see with us. Because after that, I was like, "You're not seeing this." Because I remember we all walked out in the lobby, and he was like,
"Yeah,
man, that was terrible."
Oh gosh, yep. Get out of here.
That was your first. I think that was the first time you'd ever met Al too.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazed you made it past that.
Yeah. It's true though. We're going to be talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League for a long time. It's such a multi-layered story with, just the fact that this movie even exists and what it took to make it exist. And yeah.
Well, the frustrating thing with everybody debating BVS is there was so much talk and debate happening when it first came out from so many people who had never seen it. They had just kind of been told on the internet, like, hate this movie because you should hate this movie. And I remember like scrolling through like my Facebook feed one day, and I stopped, and this one kid, he had written this whole thing of like, the way I see it with Batman v Superman of why this movie is so bad is, the director and the studios, they ignored this and they tried, and he had this huge, long, just like rant fest on why this movie was bad. And then he summed it up with, while I haven't seen the movie, and then like that was like he had never seen the movie, but he had read enough of why he should hate the movie that he put together like paragraphs. Right. And like it wasn't like a super rare thing. I mean, you guys saw how people were like just piling onto this movie without any reason or viewing.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that just kind of like regurgitated the like public narrative that was created. Is like, oh, this movie's trash. You know, it's all style. It's no substance. There's nothing there. It's like there's the Martha moment.
I hate that argument. I hate it.
They have these like they have little things that they hit upon that they've heard other people say. It's not.
I was
something
pausing
that
at
they
those moments today when I watched with Kelly because she'd never seen it before, and I was like, we'd get through something, I'd pause and be like, okay, so just give her the rundown.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, it's amazing that people even make that argument about his films because there's so much more packed into these movies than 99% of Marvel comic book movies. Like,
it's true.
It's great. Like, I can't even trying to like play devil's advocate. I can't wrap my mind around watching one of these films and thinking, in that space. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me.
It's also great to see now how many people, because of the Snyder Cut coming out, a lot of people that were detractors at the time going back rewatching this and really looking at it from a new perspective, so to speak, and being honest about like it's. I mean, not everybody has, but it's just been great to see people come around to it.
I think it was comicbook.com tweeted out an article the other day that was like BVS Ultimate Edition is like aged really, really well or something.
It's great that HBO Max put that on there.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I haven't seen theatrical since theatrical. There's no reason to.
Well, there's just no reason to. Yeah,
I still really enjoyed it in theaters. I don't know. I
there
guess
were
I
just
can't
holes.
really pick apart, but I mean, I love what we got, and I'm glad that HBO Max put that on there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just, I think Ryan and we talked about this, I think last week when Britt was on, but like a lot of you've also got like the nightmare stuff was so polarizing people because it kind of came out of nowhere for a lot of people.
People had never seen anything like that either. Like they didn't know, like, is he dream? Like, what's the, like that's the only logical thing. I don't know.
I mean, but there's a lot. There is a lot of that. I think somebody may have mentioned that in the comment, but there's a lot of dreamy type sequences. There's him like Bruce flying with the bats at the beginning that can be, people could be put off by that because it's like Batman can't fly. It's like, what is this? How they're making this Batman? He can actually fly. He has powers from bats, lift him.
Yeah, this is a good question, Lester. Great question, and I don't know how to answer it because I love that movie so much.
I'm gonna say there's two scenes that I love with Lex. I think my favorite scene is the scene with he and Lois before he pushes her off the building. Okay. The other one is him with the guy that he's trying to get access to the ship. Like how he just, the Jolly Rancher scene. I love that exchange. Okay, 3 scenes. I also love when he gets
6 hours later.
It's actually that same scene, right? So, all right, okay, good, because it is. They cross cut between the two when he's like on the scout ship and his actual theme song plays.
I do like his theme
slow-mo. He's walking through, getting Zod's body and all that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
So your favorite scenes are all Lex scenes, is what you're saying?
No, he's asking. I thought he said favorite Lex scene.
No, favorite scenes in general. Oh gosh, Brandon's like, now I
start
got
over. Lex on the brain.
Yeah.
Now I'm. Man, now I gotta.
So
I think I saw Lester. Thought Lex.
You just think about it, and Ryan will go.
Yeah. Brandon starts scribbling his 30 scene list down.
Warehouse scene. I'll just say warehouse scene.
It is a tough. You're stealing my fire. Like you just had to get that in there before I did.
Yes. Well, now I know what the question is. I have to answer it honestly.
Well, if I was gonna give 3, warehouse scene would be number 1. My second favorite would be their first Batman and Superman's first interaction with the Batmobile, where he like kicks the Batmobile.
Such a nice moment where he just lifts out of it,
and just like
he kicks it. I don't think he kicks it. He just stands there.
He just bumps it. Like that's what I mean. Like he just like
he doesn't like kick it.
You know what I mean? He just
stands,
like bumps
you know.
it and he just crap. Yeah.
Okay.
But and then it goes like slow. The music is awesome and it goes slow mo and the way his cape is billowing and it's just awesome. That one, and then oddly enough, I love the Superman's death scene at the end of BVS, and I love all the way through the shot. The thing that always sticks in my mind is when Lois walks up to Batman and Wonder Woman, and you just see her like her face. She just like breaks like when she realizes what happened. That, and then they pan back and you see Batman walk out of the shadows, and it's so good. I got chills talking about it. So those are my three. Chris,
If I had to say,
still doing his list.
bathtub scene, probably.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
No, warehouse
One thing that you
definitely.
lose, one thing that you lose in the extended cut or the ultimate cut is you don't get. Correct me if I'm wrong. You don't get that.
That's true. Yes.
You don't get the splash on the glasses
Yeah.
that you got in theatrical, which is a weird thing to not.
All right,
like,
well then
why would
forget
be
it.
in
I don't like that
theatrical
one
when
anymore.
I
Then definitely. I mean, everything for me would be in the running is just the Batman scenes.
Mm-hmm.
One is when we first see him in that house with like the human trafficking victims, because it's like when we first see this version of Batman, and he's like this terror, like everything we said before. He's just finally menacing, and you get like the terror that he instills, in all the villains. The nightmare scene, as much as I have a problem with the fight choreography, like it's the coolest version of Apocalypse that we've seen, or not Apocalypse, but you know what I mean, like the terraformed version of Earth that we've seen. In my opinion, like including like the comics and the animated stuff, I love all those. That's all my references, but I think this is the coolest one that we've seen.
Fire combo. There's just something about it. Like
but I mean, it still probably does land on the warehouse. I think the choreography is awesome. Like just the way that we see Batman in action.
When he hits the window in the cape. Just the
impact with everything, like seeing somebody yank on his cape and it's pulling him, and him just like slamming heads. And then, his first entrance.
Rips the knife out of his shoulder.
Yes, and just like hits the dude with it. But my favorite part in all of it is when he first shoots up from the second floor and he like drops the little like detonators on everybody's gun at once. And it just like kind of spoke to like a very comic booky, just like so precise and prepared and just awesome at everything Batman. So Warehouse is probably my number one, but everything with Batman in this movie, I think it's just the best.
I love how we talk about all the Batman scenes that we like, so we make Brandon go last and he has to repeat us. He doesn't get the thrill.
I spent so much time talking about Lex, thinking that it was a Lex question. I wasted all my time.
All right, Brandon, go ahead. This is your moment.
No, I mean, Warehouse. It's the best Batman portrayal ever on screen for me. Like it's the fighting choreography is so precise. It's just like, and just like even like the moments where it's like him, it's more like him reacting to certain situations. It reminds me a lot of those old like kung fu movies where they kind of use their environment as weapons and stuff like that. It's just brutal, and I love it. And so I'm not going to say much more than, I love how it resolves the whole, Martha rescue with the nod to the Dark Knight Returns. I remember watching that in theaters, and I had just recently watched the animated Dark Knight Returns, part 1 and 2, and they had that same moment in there. And he's and like KG Beast is like, "I'll kill her. Don't believe me, I'll do it." And he's like, "I believe you." Yeah, I was like, "Say it, say it." He says it. I'm like, man, so good. But yeah, that's hands down. I'm not gonna pick 3. I'm just gonna say that's my favorite. That's my favorite.
This guy's killing me because it's right. Like the Wonder Woman entry is amazing, and then the Nightmare.
How
Superman,
amazing
Batman
would it have
sequence.
been though if they had kept that from marketing? We knew that Gal Gadot was playing Diana Wonder Woman in the movie. They had it as a press release, I guess. But I would have, how like crazy would it have been? Well, I guess minus us seeing the little like picture that Bruce sees. But if they hadn't had that on there and her like, leaving the plane and the lady, Miss Prince, how like crazy would that have been as far as like, like,
yeah, I think you would have spoiled it for me though. somehow.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Yeah, Dark or Doomsday's
Could've
in
been
it.
cool,
No
though.
Wonder Woman's in it.
Yeah, let me live that down.
That's one of the things that I'm most excited for, and Katie, my wife, too, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, is the Amazonian Wonder Woman stuff, because we just
It's
haven't
been so
seen.
neutered lately.
And how, like, when she's in BVS, she's just she's just a warrior, dude.
I love
Like,
the smile she gives too.
I know when she
getting
gets knocked down, she's like, "All right."
She's the only one you
so
feel like,
right.
I don't know, maybe she could handle this. Like the other
Yeah.
two, you're like, okay,
Right.
they got to work together.
Right.
She's very much the
so-
warrior out of all of them.
Yeah, and but the just the stuff that I've shown.
world before.
Yeah, Katie with the like the we have, or show us your fear, or show him your fear. We have no fear. Like,
Love it.
oh, so good. And all the stuff that we've seen on Themyscira is just just the battle hardened awesomeness. It's one of the main things I'm looking forward to.
Although,
Yeah.
before I forget, I will say, I know you guys know this, but I had an issue with the whole email scene initially, and I still do.
Yes.
I feel the exact same way about it. I hate
you
that
always
email.
quoted it.
This is a running joke with the
Yeah.
three of us, is the LexCorp drive when it's decrypted.
Diana opens that email. Boys do share.
Yeah. Who is this? What? Go ahead, Chris. You do it. You do it the best.
Well, I just imagine him like in the cowl, in the cave, just like typing out this email. He's like, "This photo doesn't belong to you. It is you. Who are you? Where did you come from? Where have you been?" I don't know.
You
I
picture
hate
him in
it.
costume. That's the best.
Yes, I just picture Pete Holmes, Batman, doing this
Yeah.
entire thing. So I hate that scene, but I love the movie, and I love to make fun of that scene.
I love your impression and your take on that scene.
There is a shot in the Superman Batman fight that always reminds me of Pete Holmes. It's like, I think it's like right after Supes like throws him like up through the building or something, and he's like hanging over the ledge of the building, and the camera zooms in. He's like got that like Pete Holmes like Batman look. That always reminds me of
Yeah.
it. I'll have to send it to you. Anyway.
And we got that, Dark Knight Returns little still with the lightning in the back when he's
Yes,
fighting dude. That's
every
always
time.
great.
It's awesome. He does.
I like.
he's-
That was the one I
he's
paused. I
an-
was like, Kelly, that one.
He's
that's
an
from
expert
comics.
of dropping those things in his
Yeah.
films, and it's awesome. That's what I'm saying.
I
like,
really wish
that's why his stuff really feels like it's ripped out of a comic book. Like
Mhm.
he just he knows the material and he respects the material. Like
he
you
did
don't
that.
really- I mean, it's like the WandaVision director, like the stuff that was coming out this week
Who's
with all
Mephisto?
yeah. The entire fan
All right, everybody
was
knows.
like expecting this character to show up, and the creator had never heard of him. So obviously not.
I really wish that he would have done that like maximum movie mode. You know how that he did that for Watchmen, did it for Man of Steel.
you guys,
basically, it's like
your
a
impressions got people.
I can never watch that scene and not just hear
There's
that
a-
in my head. Like,
there's
the capital
there's a
is.
skit. There's a skit in that we have to do now.
Yeah,
gotta get you to do that now, Chris.
CAPECAST SNL.
But no, Zach did that maximum movie mode where it's like picture in a picture commentary for Watchmen, and he did it for Man of Steel. They didn't do it for this, but I would have loved something like that, where because like in Man of Steel and in Watchmen, he's like calling attention because Watchmen is so panel to panel as far as adaptation. It's crazy. It'd be awesome to have something like that for BVS.
You're welcome.
Oh, so good.
But yeah, I think do we want to move on to the future, which is days
Sure.
away?
Oh gosh, let's talk about the future, guys. Let's talk about the future.
Yeah.
What? All right. So my first question is, what of this huge 4-hour movie? Like, what is the thing that you are Zack Snyder's Justice League? What are you looking forward to the most? Like seeing whether we've all seen the theatrical improved upon, or something that we haven't seen in the theatrical. Like, what is the one? It may be hard to pick, but what is the one thing that's really like, I gotta see it? Brandon.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
What's the one Lex thing?
nope. One Lex thing. I mean, there's so many things, but at a very surface level, I just want justice for my Batman. Like, he was done so dirty.
Guys, I can't
And
tell
theatrical.
you. I can't tell you the facial expressions that Brandon had in theaters when he was watching the theatrical. Like, I wish I had just like recorded him watching the movie so I could play this back. He was so heartbroken.
It's just, oh man. I mean, I've said it so many times before. I just, but honestly, that's every character in that movie was just, done such a disservice. I'm excited for, at the end of the day, I'm stoked and excited that we're going to get a third entry to this story that looks, feels in keeping with the other two that came before them. And everything that I've seen, I've loved. And, I haven't, like, I know that, especially Ryan and myself, we drink the Kool-Aid when it comes to these movies. So we're obviously a little biased, but I just know I'm going to love this movie.
Yeah, that's Katie's parents were like, "What if this movie like doesn't live up to?" I'm like, "You don't understand. Like, just stop talking. You don't get it."
We haven't seen it yet, but we love it. Like,
Yeah.
I know how that sounds, but it's true. I mean, there's no way. I mean, that's the thing. I remember when they were advertising, I remember being in the theater with Al and Rusty watching Thor Ragnarok, and they had a trailer for Justice League right before the movie. And I was like, how could you not like this? Like, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't good because it wasn't a movie.
Yeah.
But they used all Zach's footage for the trailers.
Sure.
Anyway, somebody else go.
All right. Chris.
I'm up. I mean, first and foremost, just for me, just to see some cohesive vision is what I'm probably most excited about. And then like seeing all these trailers.
See Vision. Look, we're done talking about WandaVision. We're not talking about that anymore.
No, I want both visions, white vision and like fake vision and
Vision.
Gotcha.
who cares, vision.
Visions.
But yeah, I mean, just like something as just a awesome movie on the whole that all ties together. It's as it's supposed to be. Like, I'm super excited for that generality. If I want to be like my little fanboy, you guys know how much of a Flash guy I am. And I'd really like to see some love given to that. I mean, all the characters, like obviously Batman was done dirty, Cyborg didn't matter. Like, we saw a lot of issues with characters overall, but I've been in love with the Flash character for as long as I can remember. I've had to I remember growing up telling people who the Flash was. He was like a little bit more obscure.
Yeah.
So for me, if I could see Barry Allen with a little bit of justice in there, a little bit of fanfare, like that would be really cool.
Every
you're
time
gonna get
I've
it.
seen anything Flash in these trailers and everything, the first thing I think of is like, oh, Chris is gonna love this.
I mean, I think that was our biggest takeaway from the character teasers. Like, Flash is,
that one was really cool.
to me, that was the best one. I mean, it
for
was
sure.
amazing.
So I'm sitting here trying to make my pick my one moment, and then maybe I'll make it 3 moments as you guys are talking, and now I'm at like 7 to 10 moments that I'm looking forward to. I in a nutshell, I will say the Nightmare Darkseid stuff. I will say Superman, everything that was not in theatrical. I've been waiting for this black suit Superman since forever. And then the third thing would probably be music. The Danny Elfman thing, I think that was the main, like when we think we all had a phone call the first night right after we saw it. We were all on the phone for a couple hours talking about the movie, and that was like the main thing for me. I was like, this just did not feel the music just takes you out of the movie. It feels nothing like any of the preceding films. Like, So I'm really looking forward to hearing this 4-hour plus score. And all
You've
of
already
its
decided to
glory.
buy the vinyl and then a turntable to go with it, correct?
Yes, I'm gonna do it. This is the thing that's gonna push me over the edge.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you, Junkie. Thank you. So yeah, so that's what I'll say. My 3 are, and as we're talking, I'm like, God, but I really do want to see Cyborg's thing. I'm listening to Chris talk. You know, the Flash does sound pretty cool. I need to check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're 3 sleeps, 4 sleeps, 3 sleeps away from this thing.
Yeah.
Monday to Sunday
Tonight.
morning. Yeah, whatever.
Monday, Tuesday.
I'll have to bail
Yeah.
on that photo shoot.
Chris, I'm still. You need to. You're looking ill. You look ill.
I know.
You need to call it off and come hang out with us.
Who needs a job?
That's right. That's right. You're nimble. You can figure something out. So, I mean, is there anything that you guys specifically want to talk about other than expectations, like with CSJL?
I think for me, after rewatching BVS, would be how the nightmare stuff ties in. You know, we saw, did Barry's little dream sequence that Bruce had, did that affect him in any way? Because we already saw that he, was getting the team together.
Sure.
That was one of the messages we saw. Lois is still in the picture. He's kind of made amends with Superman at this point. So I guess, did that little Flash sequence make any impact from what we saw, or was it just like a nice little nod to what may come?
Sure.
And then if not, like what's happening there?
I'm happy that we're actually going to see the Flash in his nightmare getup in this movie. I'm excited to see it, but I'm also very excited to see it given what we saw in BVS, where people were so confused by that scene. I hope that helps people who are less in the weeds with these movies in this world, kind of like, I don't know, understand what's happening. So yeah, I mean, just I feel like that could help build a lot of context for BVS specifically. This guy.
Yeah.
True.
It's true.
Very true. Go ahead, Brandon. What were
We
you
live
saying?
in an Elseworlds right now where, didn't exist. It's right. This is a very long production schedule. And we're finally going to get to see it. I'm excited. Just like you guys, I'm excited to further explore all those things that they teed up that were abandoned, and even things that were abandoned in subsequent like solo films and stuff like that. I just feel like I'm glad that Zack is shooting his shot and just making the movie that he wanted to make, unhinged essentially, as far as we know. I mean, it's
I love that he's moving still ending it on a cliffhanger. Like, it's, what does this mean for the future beyond this movie? Like,
well, that's one of the things that you've seen so prevalent in the last day, essentially, as far as people just being like, people are going to clamor for more.
Yeah.
And I hope that's the case.
I know 2 people that will.
accurate.
You are correct, sir.
Oh, quick rewind.
Yeah.
At the end of BVS, when Diana kind of gives her thing of like disappearing for 100 years, and she it sets up the first movie that we got with her of like World War I. It was 100 years prior.
Sure.
Did that make you mad again at 84? Because it did for me.
Well, it makes me mad at the
the
way Wonder Woman ends in the first place. They changed the ending to a more hopeful ending because of the reaction to BVS, it was, by all accounts, she was supposed to have a more downer ending. I know that they reshot the ending, but like her last scene is like her like running towards the fight kind of thing, staying in the mix, which it doesn't make sense given that line in BVS. So yeah, I mean, that even happened in her
Do you guys remember when we
I
saw
mean-
the first one in theaters and that one girl was asked to shut up and sit down?
Oh man.
Oh, so good. Brandon, what was it? We were at like an advanced screening and they had people like you could come up and do your best impression or like give your best line.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had like a costume.
One girl was
cosplay
so over the
contest.
top. Oh man. Everyone's like, well, just relax. Like yeah. No, I don't blame them for doing what they did at the end of Wonder Woman or Wonder Woman 84 just because like
I do.
we know the pressure that they were under from the studio. I'll leave Wonder Woman 84 out of that. I mean the ending of Wonder Woman itself, like, because as a whole I still love that movie.
Yeah, I do too. But
Behind Zack stuff, it's my favorite DC film in quite some time.
am I gonna like? Does the idea that Zack kind of teased with his original like Crimean War still instead of World War One? Does that excite me and make me like wish that were the case in terms of what movie we got? Yeah, well, would have loved to have seen that.
I agree with you there for sure.
Chris, do you know about that? The original.
No, I mean, I'd seen something I think you guys showed with
See if
the
I can
difference in
find
the
it.
photos or whatever, but I don't know a lot of that now.
It's pretty cool. Zach had it. He was doing an interview where he whenever he does interviews, like streaming interviews, he always like has something in the background that's in true Zack Snyder style. That's like an Easter egg or something that people like pick up. Like, what's that? And like people zoom in and try to And he had this image framed on the wall behind him. Brandon's about to pop up.
This might be the image. Yeah, I remember you guys. I think you may have shown this before, and I saw it then.
Yeah.
I love my samurai.
And of course, people are like, Wonder Woman holding heads. Like they're just like, she doesn't. I'm like, this one does.
She does. Then the animated
and
stuff, she's been pretty brutal for a while.
Yep.
What was it,
The
like New
Crystal-
Horizons or something like New Frontier, where she was like killing everybody in Vietnam?
Or is it New Frontier? Yeah, maybe it is. I know what you're talking about though. Like she is
Pretty brutal.
I mean, you saw the end of BVS. Like she wasn't originally intended to be this like war, like true Amazonian warrior.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially in Zack's canon, this could be still canon. Like this would still have. Well, maybe not because she didn't come to. Well, whatever.
I mean,
She
it's
didn't mind
something
it.
that either way, like it's never going to be.
Maybe if you guys complain on the internet for another 4 years,
The funny thing, the funny thing is the little one of the helmets of the head in the middle that has a little like whatever she's holding his head through with the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that was in that little like whatever we called it, the one with the little mother box teaser trailer that was intended to be the opening credits. That helmet with that spiky,
Oh, is it?
the anal beads or whatever they are. They're in that.
Hopefully, Al's not watching at this point.
I don't think he wrote that on the list of things Brandon couldn't say.
Yeah.
Found a loophole.
They're in that. It's in that trailer. So
It's an odd
saying.
way to describe that. Oh man. How can I top that? So what is
viewership just went up?
Yeah. What'd he say? Yeah.
Somebody said animals?
It's probably Al tuning in because somebody texted somebody. Oh man. So Chris, what are your watch plans again for this movie? When are you gonna watch it the first time?
As soon as I can, Thursday. I got like a pretty
So you
big
are
deal
gonna watch
photo
it
shoot that
Thursday.
I probably can't get around. So I'm gonna do that. Try and devote my 4 hours. I'll ignore you guys
cool.
up to that point, and then I'm gonna swing down to Royston Saturday morning and watch it with Brandon.
Nice. Yeah, so me and
Welcome
Brandon
back, man.
we are going to watch. So I guess Wednesday night we're gonna do BVS Ultimate Edition early, and then roll roll right into the Kevin Smith, Zack Snyder red carpet premiere event, and then just wait until ZSJL hits, and I think we're going to do a back-to-back screening. So that's
Have they given the time yet?
Not officially.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess
but
kind
it's-
of officially. I mean, that countdown
Have they?
timer.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
the
I don't
website
know.
says you can.
Theoretically, though, that could just be a Pacific, like beginning of day for Pacific time thing. But anyways,
Maybe.
yeah. So
well,
right
I mean,
now
you
it's
got that.
3
Zach
a.m.
also said
Eastern,
midnight. So
3 p.m. Yeah, that's true. In an interview, he said that was kind of the direction they were going. So probably 3 a.m. for us Eastern.
Okay.
So
I will
you got
ignore you
all
all
kinds
day.
of comments down here right now, Brandon. Oh man.
you're welcome.
And then we've got I was gonna go home like Thursday evening ish, but then of course they announced Zach's gonna do a commentary. So gotta stay for that. So we're gonna watch it a third time. So those are our plans. And we got to figure out what we want to record when we want to record it, Brandon, for CAPECAST here. So
we'll talk.
I'm sure we'll have some initial reaction for you guys and do several in-depth breakdowns of this bad boy. And we'll have all that stuff. And we're also working on a very special episode next Sunday. Fingers crossed. We have a special guest joining the show. So fingers crossed.
Yep.
So
Joss Whedon.
gents, yeah. viewership just tanked. As soon as Brandon brought him
Justice for Joss.
in. Right. Oh man. Yeah, so Zach announced this. He's asking what commentary? Zach announced that he is doing a commentary on, is it CiNEMAChiNE? Is that the site? Yeah.
CiNEMAChiNE.
So through HBO Max, he's doing a live commentary on JL. So don't miss it. It's gonna be great. All right, gents. I think we're at 2 hours and 22 minutes, and
Shorter than you guys usually go.
Chris's girlfriend's gonna kill us if we don't let him get off the show.
What did she say before? 3 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got time. Yeah, 40 minutes. Hey, speaking of though, before we do go, since we're talking about your girlfriend, Chris, what did Kelly think of Man of Steel and BVS coming into it? Never seeing.
So
those?
we finished BVS like right before I hopped on. So I didn't like pick her brain a lot, but she did seem to enjoy throughout. And she's like, who is this playing? Because she doesn't know anyone. I think she grew up Amish. She'll be like, who's this? I'm like, that's Brad Pitt. Like, what are you talking about? Who is that? So she was doing that throughout. But she
He's
does
cute.
love Ben Affleck. So she was excited to see him. But she kept pointing out Jesse Eisenberg. She's like, he's really good. And I was like, okay.
Kelly's smart.
watching.
She's a very smart lady.
Yeah.
You should hang on to her.
But yeah, no, she seemed to dig it. I didn't
you
ask her
marry
full
her.
opinion. All right. Well,
do it.
You
let me
marry
ask
that
for
woman.
sure to see if she liked it. But Man of Steel, I think she had similar thoughts as me. She said she liked it was the first thing. When I said, okay, what'd you think? As soon as it ended, she goes, I liked it. Some of it I wish they'd done a little differently. I wanted to see more of the stuff of like Superman actually saving people. I liked seeing like the school bus scene and the freighter scene, like the oil rig scene. Lots of, and I agree. Those were definitely highlights for me, and I would have liked to see more of that. So we're like pretty much on the same page.
Nice.
Nice.
But I gave a lot of pauses for
exciting.
BVS. I was like, hold on. He said Martha there, but let me explain why it's not stupid.
Yeah, I had to do that a lot too
Yeah.
because I had Luna, I had my nephew Cleet, who's a couple years older than Luna, and then I had Donald, and so I was like, all right, guys, let me break all this down for you.
Yeah.
I need to
Because
get these
I knew
reviews.
that for the dream sequences with the bat coming through and with obviously the nightmare and that kind of stuff, I was like, they're gonna be so confused. So I just went ahead and said, all right, this is a dream sequence. This is what's happening. So they wouldn't be like, what does this mean? Why is he here?
Right.
Or whatever, you know. So yeah, because
Brandon
that
and
kind
I-
of stuff.
God.
Well, I was just saying that kind of stuff is so like it's such a like shock that you're like, I'd rather them like know ahead of time that okay, this is what's happening, so that they can like okay, this
Right.
is because they're not going to be able to watch it multiple times like I have before they watch the next entry. So anyway, go ahead.
I was just say Brandon and I have been kicking around the idea of doing like an in defense of BVS episode.
There's in defense of Zack Snyder, like just on
In
the
general,
whole.
yeah, in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, we hope maybe we don't even need to after Zack Snyder's Justice League. Who knows?
Oh boy.
Oh gosh,
Flattered. I know they don't want me to.
They want you
drop me a
back,
lot.
even though you're a Marvel stan.
Yeah.
We'll see, Chris.
I don't know if they
gonna
want to
keep
wait
you-
for me.
We're just gonna keep labeling you that because it makes you
Well, we're gonna
uncomfortable.
have. He will be back, undoubtedly.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no doubt.
restore
I mean,
the
we'll have-
verse.
There you go.
It really rolls off the tongue.
I'm gonna trademark that. I'll be like Paris Hilton with that's hot.
Yeah, maybe.
Everybody will want
maybe
it.
not.
It's common.
Good luck with that.
Hey, there you go, Brandon.
Yep.
You
It's good. I mean, you
relate,
got
dude.
to. You got to. Yep. Just fast forward through the scene in the bathtub if your wife is like mine, just so you don't get that eye. You don't want the evil eye, okay? Because it doesn't bode well for you in the end. I'm just saying.
All right, gents. I think it's probably about time we wrap up. Like I said, we'll be back this week. We'll have content for you one way or another for this movie and some sort of reaction. And then obviously told you we're working on a special episode for next week. So definitely stay tuned.
Say a
Hit the
prayer
subscribe
to
button.
the apocalyptic gods for us, if you don't mind.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Huh?
Yeah.
Do that.
Hit the subscribe button. We're always talking superhero stuff. We love Zack Snyder stuff, so we will definitely scratch that itch for you. And obviously, if you love talking comic book stuff, follow us on Twitter at CAPECAST Show. We're on there all day, every day. So
More than we should be.
yes, we love talking with folks on there. So definitely do that.
My screen time thing on my iPhone at the end is like it just says, "What
Twitter.
are you doing with your life?" Instead of giving me a rundown, it's just like, "Please stop."
I think you
Right.
throttle all of Royston's internet.
Yeah.
There's very much out there.
God, Brendan's streaming again tonight.
Brandon was trained on a farm, for anyone who's wondering.
That's right. On a
On a farm.
All right, guys. We are 3 days, 4 hours, 31 minutes, and 42 seconds away now from Zack Snyder's Justice League. So there. You sound like me. Yeah.
Dark side
All right.
is.
All right, gents. Until next time, carry on.
Hasta
So
la
long.
vista.